I came, I saw, I got over it. Didn't really know what else to do with it. So I threw it back like a bad fish, right? Because that's the way we roll. What are the humans doing?
No James Bond nonsense. Subversion is the term, if you look in a dictionary or criminal code, is explained as an activity to destroy.
Do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning you lies, but no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. Yeah.
You cannot subvert an enemy which doesn't want to be subverted. Starting from Hollywood movie makers to professors of political science, the rest, 85%, is always subversion. But according to the law and law enforcement systems of the Western civilization, it's not a crime. The United States is a receptive target of subversion.
They fabricate our problems and pretend to provide the best solution, but we all know they lied. They lied about the weapons and they lied about health. They lied about the fact that they're transferring the wealth. You should really notice how they're pushing the fear. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. Yeah.
Things like religion, government system, political, economical system of a country. Manipulation of terms. We think that subverter is a person who is going to blow up our beautiful bridges. Subverter is a student who comes for exchange, a diplomat, an actor, an artist, a journalist like myself, and easily observable if you give yourself time and trouble to observe it.
Said, do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning you lies, but no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile.
Means always a destructive, aggressive activity aimed to destroy the country, nation, or geographical area of your enemy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sasquatch Shills, where tonight we have an absolutely epiphany for us. So, without any further ado or further gilding the lily, you know how this shit rocks out. We go just this way. Skadoosh, how you doing, sweetness? What's going on?
Hey, how are you doing? I'm doing good.
Fantabulosity itself. You know how much I love the pink? That is awesome.
There's a lot of it.
I would be slightly terrified, but I'm going to roll with it. All right. So before we get too far into the weeds on all this, because your channel's a little bit weird. It's not like most people's channel who had an idea, went with it, stuck with it. You kind of rolled around in the grass until you found something that stuck to you and run with it. And that's Sasquatch proves. So tell everybody what you do, who you are, what your channel's about, and how that works.
Well, my channel right now, it's about crafting. I got myself a Cricut and I just went from there. So I teach myself how to use the Cricut. I expand it to sublimation and I just try a bunch of different things. And but I used to do homeschooling stuff, but because of the way YouTube is, I decided to stop sharing my kids on the internet. It just didn't feel right. YouTube's not a great place for that. So I changed directions.
And it was an excellent transfer too. You actually shifted pretty well. You left an awful lot of your old content up, but you started making totally new, different content. Did you
Mm.
remove any of the stuff back there, or just leave it?
Uh, I I left most of it. I did private a lot of personal stuff with the kids and that I had shared.
Right,
Uh,
that makes
I
sense.
I
Absolutely.
I did some coverage of the convoys and the convoy that happened in Canada and some flooding that happened around me because I in between homeschooling and crafting, I tried to do new stuff, but it wasn't really working out. So I just privated that stuff. And then I tried gaming for a little bit and that didn't really work out.
I think I was playing on one of your Minecraft servers for a while. Actually, I don't remember how I snuck in the back door over there, but I tinkered around.
I
There's a hollow
I
mountain
did
somewhere in your server.
yeah, I had a server and I always had a link in the chat for people to be able to join for Minecraft when I did do that.
I definitely jumped in on that. It was fun. Although I gotta say, the raining golden carrots were a little weird.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, What's Truth found me while I was in there. I just started throwing things at me, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, he likes to
I
troll people in Minecraft.
Yeah, he's just God moding around in the joint. I'm like, yeah, look at him. There he is.
Yeah, he's got some special program that allows him to hack Minecraft.
Yeah, well, it's an ancient, but that's like ancient tech. That's not even a hard thing to pull off. I mean,
Mm. Oh,
we
my son does it now. He's
we
got
got
the hack
people in
client.
chat. Let's talk to the folks in chat for a second. Can you see the chat?
Yep.
We got Swiss Miss who gets the gold, John Denicola gets the silver, and Claiborne County Transparency gets the bronze. Welcome in. Remember, we have one more participation trophy for the best troll that shows up, or the best name, whichever comes first. We got Matthew the King. Welcome in, bud. I don't think I missed any. Scotty Waddles has joined the chat. That's cool. He's a weird one. I like him. We got Scrappy Dreams over here. Good to see you. You're here. Did you know you were here? That's cool. You're here over here with
I
all the
think
cool
I said
kids.
that in mine over on my channel.
Oh yeah. I don't know how the chat delineates on your side, but on my side, it tells me who's in my chat and who's not. What's up, freaking? Good to see you, bud. Keeper of the lists. Yep. It shows the difference, but I just basically show everybody. Chili dog all night. What is up, brother? Gregory, the
I think
cameraman,
mine are
1970.
sorry, go ahead.
Gregory, the cameraman, 1970. We also have Jen Wow, Scrappy Dreams. You know, I know who that is, but I can't remember who it is. But I'm supposed to know who it is. I just can't remember. I'm sure they told me once. Lola's TV. So let's do this right. In a world where television is lawless. There you go. Just for you. Orb Puff. Hey, how doing? What's going on? Sci-fi Bra, the video guy. I haven't seen you in here in a minute. Walter Davis, good to see you, bud. Todd Bushy, welcome back. Good to see you. I think that's everybody. Oh, bunny kisses. Hello. Everybody loves bunny kisses, right? I do like your pink paint job, and I'm not gonna lie about it neither. You damn right.
Yeah. I think What's Truth did that for me.
Yeah.
He helps me paint all the rooms in the home. So
All right. So
he's the professional.
it's at about this point where we're going to do something that might be a little nerve-wracking for you, but don't feel too bad because everybody got to go through it, right? Do you watch your own videos?
Sometimes.
All right. So maybe this won't hurt quite so bad. Wrong button.
Oh, maybe.
There we go. All right. So I need to know before we get too terribly deep. We have your very first video would be curriculum review. Your not most recent, because you uploaded one since I set this up. So there's one more recent, maybe two more recent, but check out the channel 2023 review. You just might see yourself. That's not the most recent, but it's the most recent I've currently got. Because you keep uploading videos, right?
Sorry.
You're in on me. Like, that's not nice. No, that's fine. And then we got an
Busy.
easy flash USB review, which is your most viewed video. That seem about right?
Yeah,
Okay. Just trying
that's
to
an old
be
one.
proactive. So what have we got going on here? We've got a basic shout out concept where you're going to bring up some of the stuff that you do.
It was a highlight of the videos throughout the year. That's what that was.
Did you do it yourself, or was it something you got YouTube to make for you?
No, I edited it myself.
Cool. What do you use for editing?
I use Premiere Pro. I have a Power Director on my tablet that I use, and on my phone I use CapCut. So it all depends what
It's
I'm
really
editing.
complicated. We use the 3 different apps and 3 different features to try to achieve the same result in 3 different locations. Just, I don't know. But if it works for you,
Depends. It depends what I'm editing and how complicated the video is.
I
Or
get that.
I just
I was about halfway through a particular video a couple of days ago that I was working on for Captain Curmudgeon, and about 4.5 hours into editing a 4-minute video from a 2.5 hour video down to 4 minutes. I get about 6 hours into editing and it crashed. And I just pulled my glasses off, threw them across the room, and sat there and dug at the pits of my eyeballs for a few minutes, and then was like, okay, wait a second. I am almost positive that there's a restore feature on this computer. Let me find that.
Yeah, thankfully. Yeah, I've got Premiere Pro auto saves every 5 minutes or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I use
Thankfully.
Shotcut, which is a free open source editor. And as far as I've been able to determine, while it is more complicated than the freaking space station, it will do anything you want it to do if you're smart enough to figure out how to do it.
Right.
It's a lot like OBS in that regard. Like, it's a very powerful tool, but you've got to have the time, the effort, and essentially the ability to beat your head against the wall long enough for it to get through to you.
Right. I got Adobe for Photoshop, but I've been told there's another program that's free. It's just more complicated to use. I can't remember what it's called.
Adobe typically does does that do editing, like video editing, or are we talking some like Photoshop
Adobe
stuff?
offers me Photoshop and Premiere Pro. Premiere Pro is the video editor.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That explains absolutely everything that I'd ever wanted to know about Adobe. Excellent. Hey, Jot, I didn't send you a link, did I? Let's do that. Well, no, it's a little late. We'll do it in the transition phase. How about that? Yeah, that's what we will do. Okay, I'm sorry. I twitch out every now and then. All right.
Oh my goodness,
So we
this one's so old.
Yeah, I know, but I got something we got to do first. So let me I keep forgetting about this part because I really need to re-edit this so that I can actually use it properly, because I keep doing this way.
You know about cars? Yes, I'm a paleontologist.
Oh, it's okay. There's dynamite in this bag too. I am a paleontologist.
I'm a paleontologist.
Paleontologists study really old stuff.
Like crackers.
Because bad movies are funny.
Absolutely, bad movies are funny. All right, so this is the part where I'm a YouTube paleontologist, and I've gone back and found the earliest publicly available video that you've uploaded. And now we can either talk about it or we could talk about squirrels running through the rivers. I don't care. It's up to you.
Well, you're the interviewer.
Well, you said when you first started your channel, you was doing homeschooling stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm assuming it was largely informational for parents to learn more about how to go about doing the process and whatnot to achieve homeschooling legally.
Well, I heard I was under a lot of stereotypes when I started homeschooling, and everybody looked down on me because of it. A lot of people believe these myths about homeschooling, like homeschoolers are stupid or they don't socialize or it's too hard, they can't get into college. So my goal was to teach people the curriculum that's out there, that there are social opportunities for homeschoolers and they're not as awkward and antisocial as people think. That was my goal.
Right. So educational is when it comes down to it.
Mm.
Did you list it as an educational series or was it informative or entertainment?
No, my channel's still under educational, I believe.
Right. Okay. I've got mine under entertainment because I'm basically here to laugh at absolutely everyone on the internet. Sometimes it's for good reasons, sometimes it's for bad reasons. Usually it's because it tickles my pickle and for no other reason.
Well, it's good to
Hey,
laugh
Porter
at
Farmer,
things.
hold on. Porter Farmer, when you use those types of emojis, they show up in the YouTube chat, but don't show up in the StreamYard chat. And so I won't like put them up on the screen if it's got a bunch of non-emoji emojis in it because it looks funny. But it's not because I hate you. We still spoon late at night when nobody's looking. It's okay. I'm sorry. I was just trying to be clear with everyone.
It's okay.
So at what point in time did you realize that the homeschooling thing was probably not going to work for YouTube due to the powers that be, terms of service, and the issues that comes along with doing anything involving children?
Well, it the terms of service changing didn't really alter my opinion. It was what I found out people do with kids, content about kids, and what the trolls do that changed
Yeah.
my direction on YouTube.
Um, there comes a point when you're doing a YouTube channel where you have to make the decision whether you're going to, and I'm going to throw some big old air quotes on this, be a YouTuber or you're just going to be a person that does YouTube. Where would you
Mm.
classify yourself at?
Well, I guess I would classify myself as a YouTuber because I put a lot of money and work into my channel, and I'm hoping that it grows one day and becomes
A
bigger
business.
than what it is. Yeah.
It would be nice to pull a brand out of all of this stuff. I mean, I assume, although I have encountered a lot of channel content creators that seem to be just creating the content for the fun of it, right? I've also encountered a lot of people who are doing it for the fun of it, but also have their thumb stuck straight to that algorithm trying to figure out how to make money out of it without sacrificing their principles. And then there are
Well,
those who have no principles at all.
mhm.
We got a
Well,
flying monkey.
you have to enjoy making videos and the content that you create to be able to do it for a long period of time.
Right, you have to love it.
Mhm.
Or
I
you have to
spent
change.
sorry.
You either have to love the content that you're specifically doing, love the reason you're doing it, or you have to uh, dedicate a part of your life that is not you to doing a thing that you do not believe in, and that is a very difficult thing to do.
Mm, yeah. I always kind of knew I wanted to make videos though because I took video editing courses in high school. So I was interested in that for in my younger days as well.
Right. All right. So growing up, I never really had the interest in doing anything on video. I never intended to be on camera. I originally set this up um to read westerns was the purpose of setting this up. Um I immediately ran into problems. I didn't know how to make a video. I didn't know how to do backgrounds. I didn't know how to do OBS. I didn't know how to do StreamYard. I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. The only talent that I landed on that I seem to have had was a genuine interest in the creation of YouTube videos and YouTubery in general. B, a need for help when it come down to it, and C, the ability to ask questions that seem to at least point towards the goals that I'm trying to achieve over here.
Right.
Which is to help people make better content easier. Right.
Right.
If you've got a product that people want, the world will be the path to your door, but if they never hear about it, they won't. So there's this missing component in YouTube where you make the content, you put it out there, some people see it, but that's kind of the end of it. There's no way to interact with YouTube in a way that will project your content further. You have to interact with folks on YouTube. You have to get into the trenches of these mean YouTube streets, and you got to pull your gat, put your do-rag on your head, and go full on tactical with the whole situation. You have to defend your channel. You have to defend your actual personal information from people who would want to use it for nefarious means, right? And this goes across the whole gambit. This is every single genre on YouTube. This is people in knitting circles have this problem. People in the first aid community had these problems. People that are over here, Wandering Hippie, who is in chat,
I
has been
know.
on more than any man I know and is still making content, still doing it. And when they used me to do it, he didn't blame me. He just called me up and was like, hey, I just got smoked by somebody pretending to be you. And I was like, darn, man, that sucks.
Really?
But it wasn't me.
Channel?
Yeah. No, he kept that one. As I understand it, he soldiered right through it. I was live with Freaking at the time, so I missed it. I missed all of that, but I feel bad for him.
I remember when he lost his channel, and he just started going up.
Yeah, and he that's another thing. He was one of the very early people that came in. It was right after he had gotten his channel took down, and he'd started Wandering Hippie, and I managed to get him backstage and talk to him. And at first he was kind of like, I don't know, like maybe you might be one of those people who are nefarious. I said, I'll be honest with you, dude. I'm a retired troll. I am not going to damage your channel if I can help it. And I will try to prevent other people from doing so. But that's all I can do is give advice. I can't tell you exactly when to not do things. You know, if you're going to click a button, that's your button to click and it's on you. I can't control that.
Yeah. At least you were honest. Yeah. I didn't know you were a retired troll. So
yes,
new to me.
For many moons, I had a flow chart of profiles that I utilized to wreak utter and immeasurable havoc on channels that were pretending. People who pretended to be in recovery, people who pretended to be homeless, people who pretended to be like running a dog shelter but were really running a puppy mill, people who were pretending to like be destitute and broke, but in reality they've got a Benz just off camera, and they're really careful with their settings. I had this one dude who claimed to be running a soup kitchen, right? But really what it is every Saturday he got together and had a big old cookout with his family, and then he would just edit out all the family parts. Dude, I come in there with about 100 profiles. He never had a chance. 15 of them ended up moderated.
What got you into that?
I was a very angry individual, and I was strung out on virtually every drug known to man, and I had absolutely no life beyond that. And so I was angry, and I struck out the one way I knew how was through linguistics. I do have a
Okay.
certain turn of phrase,
So what
but
made you switch up and stop doing that then? Just change your heart?
um, well, first of all, I got off dope. Second of all, when you get off dope, you kind of have to cut out all of the negative BS that's going on in your life, because if you don't, it'll just drag dope right back in, kicking and streaming, and there's nothing you can do about that. So you have to cut out all of the people doing nefarious crap in your life. And then there's another little ring of people that are enablers to those people that you also have to get rid of. And you have no choice over this, because yet again, if you don't, it will drag you kicking and screaming back into the life. So after I sat over here for a couple of months, sweating it all out and getting through the whole thing, I ended up sitting there, and I just didn't want to be hateful, and I didn't want to be mean, and I didn't want, even if these people are doing incorrect things, even if they are doing illicit activities on camera, it's none of my freaking business, man, and I don't care. So I shut all my profiles down. I closed everything except one. And for a few weeks, I operated on that one profile so that everybody would know who I was. And I set this channel up, and I shut that one down and went on vacation and started this channel. And ever since then, I just tell people how to kind of mitigate some of the trollery that takes place. I can't stop all of it. And I can't promise that you won't somehow trigger a personal response from an individual. Nothing can mitigate that. But
No.
as long as you're talking general trollery, a general troll, just a random guy who doesn't like the S in your name and decides to say something about it, ignore them. That's
Yeah.
the only answer. You have to never mention their name, never respond to their comment, never acknowledge their existence, and never, ever, 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 ever admit that it got to you at all.
Mhm. I agree. I learned that lesson the hard way. Yep. I've made those mistakes and had to learn from it.
Never
Now I
respond,
just
never apologize, never back down, never back up, never take one step back. If you do, you end up
Mhm.
getting exactly what happens. And they start
Yep.
foaming at the mouth and coming out of the woodwork, man. It's almost
Yep.
a beautiful thing, but not really.
No, they twist everything you say, so I just stopped watching it and paying attention to it.
Um, okay, yeah, don't watch it. I'm
Nope.
firm believer in if you allow yourself to watch the silliness that's going on, especially if it's false and fictitious.
Mhm.
If you listen to that trash, you are going to eventually have to respond to that trash. Your conscious mind will not let you live it down if you don't. The only way to keep it from having that mental effect on you is to never acknowledge it in the first place.
Yeah.
Just breathe, man. Nothing
Yeah.
else you can do. Um,
Nope.
I mean, by all
I
means,
can't address every troll out there, so just ignore it.
I do sometimes.
It's their
I
little
got
fantasy that they create in their world is their problem, not mine.
well, what I always say is I don't have to participate in other people's delusions.
Right.
Wait,
Right.
that's not right anymore. Hold on, let me fix that.
Okay.
Um, let's see.
Hey, Nez.
There we go. I think that's correct. Close enough for government work, anyway. There we go. Adopt a hater today. Remember, never feed a troll you do not intend to keep. Haters can be your best PR. 3,580 subs, and I cannot thank you enough. Because haters, they gotta hate. They can't
Yeah.
help it. They will hate. That's one thing you can count on them for. And I'm talking a full tank of gas, a full pack of cigarettes, and they're going to hate.
Mhm.
So if they're going to sit around and talk about us and they're going to waste their time and their breath and their effort, I feel like we should give them some really good clips to work with.
Okay.
Now, maybe that's just me, but I like dancing with the devil by the pale moonlight.
You think a lot like what's truth.
I have a confession. He wasn't the only one that I asked to come on. He was the only one that accepted. I went all through some very questionable locations looking for people to come on to have the troll conversation, because you can't have this conversation with people that have casual channels and just don't YouTube. It takes a YouTuber who has either experienced like a clout war, or somebody who has discovered an actual troll, to realize what I mean when I say it. I'm not talking about someone who disagrees with you. I'm not talking about somebody who talks about your mama. I'm not talking about somebody who disagrees with how you raise your children, because these are all basically honest opinions. Those are all fine. You don't gotta like me or what I do. What I'm talking about are the people who go directly into like personal attack of, to some extent, lifestyle, but mostly a character assassination approach. And that's
Yeah,
never taken my pickle a whole lot. That's not what I do.
straight up making up stuff.
Well, I mean, hold on. I need to get that up on screen, because that's a good point. That's among other things. Yes. That kind of stuff, the
Mhm.
general doxing of things and situation. I'm not the type of person to air my dirty laundry on air. However, should my dirty laundry happen to be aired out, y'all will never know, because I will never acknowledge it. I will never admit it. And I will not give an apology for any of the bullshit I've done, because I was once a junkie and I have done some bullshit. Facts.
Right.
We have to grow and move on from that. We can't get tied up in the shit we used to be.
No, you can't feel bad. And you got to be proud of who you are now, the accomplishments you've made.
Oh, I'm just happy I'm alive. I got to
Mm.
experience Christmas with my family. I got to hang out with my wife, my kids, and none of them are casting. Oh, and my extended family as well: nieces, nephews, brother, sister, father, all these people. Nobody kicked me out this past year.
Right.
Now, my sister still hasn't admitted to being related to me, but that's
No.
normal. She's been doing it since I was born.
Right.
As I understand
Sister
it, she tried to
rivalry.
give me
Yeah.
away. As I understand it, according to my pop, she tried to give me away after I was born in the hospital. She was walking around asking people if they wanted one of these babies. She was a born troll, and she's been doing it my whole life. At this point, I would be really worried if she wasn't.
Is she much older than you?
I do what? I'm sorry, I was coughing.
Is that too personal?
What's that?
Is she much older than you? Is when
Actually,
she was
my
doing that?
sister is 4 years older than me, and my brother is 8 years older than me.
Okay,
And
so she was like a 4-year-old
yeah,
wandering
she was
around doing that.
in there. And I imagine it was probably around the time I had my first bout of scarlet fever or something, and not when I was
Oh,
actually born.
no.
Yes, you know, I was sick every
Okay.
Christmas most of my life. I never went to family
Awesome.
gatherings at Christmas because I was sick and I stayed home. And as a byproduct of that, and my sister swearing she only had, actually, she never admitted to having brothers at all unless one of us was present. But if I was
Okay.
present, she would tell people that I was my uncle's kid.
She's an only child.
Because I think she just generally doesn't like me.
Well, some siblings are like that.
For reals. And I mean, there's not much you can do about it except work with it. That's it.
No.
You try. Let's see how this looks. Does that look right? Actually, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's fairly well spaced. Okay. All right. So this is your most viewed video, right?
Yeah, which is surprising. That surprised me. It still gets quite a few views a day.
Well, I mean, it's got to be the title. Easy Flash USB reviews. Come on. Folks are looking up Easy Flash and then they find you. It's got to
Well, the
be it.
thing is, people are still watching it, but that flash drive isn't even for sale anymore. It's outdated.
Right. Well, what it is people are coming across them like their stuff. And they're like, geez, what is this thing? How do I even use it? And they have to look it up and figure it out. Like, what's a flash drive? Okay, flash drive. And they find your video.
The port that goes into your phone, they changed it to USB-C, so that doesn't even fit in any phone. The app's gone. I've got 3 of them, and they're useless now.
Well, I mean, I don't know. They're there. I'm sure they've got something on them. Somewhere around here, I have an old USB card that's got like 300 movies on it.
I think I could still plug it into the computer and it work, though. It's just that it's not
That's what I'm saying.
compatible with my phone anymore.
Right. I had a. Oh, I've also got an ancient Juke. Do you remember the Juke?
What?
All right. So the first phone made that had actual music in it was called a Juke. And you could download
Oh,
MP3s. And it was basically a phone and an MP3 player, but they weren't exactly integrated. Right. The only feature that carried over from this phone into future phones was the ability to pause the music and answer the phone and then go back to playing music after. That was about it.
wow. And you just keep it because it was your first phone? What happened? Is that my end? I can't hear you anymore, and I'm trying to figure out if that's me.
I touched my microphone. I did
Oh,
not
okay.
mean to touch my microphone. I do apologize.
Noted. My headset did that to me on Hippies the other night. Just went mute, and it was my fault, so you never know.
It might not have been your fault. That's harsh. I mean,
Well, I hit a button.
nah, man. When it comes to this type of stuff, there's so many moving parts involved that anybody having an issue with technical issues just need to step back, regroup, reload, and try again. I mean, there's not a whole lot of other
Yeah.
stuff that can be
No, it happens. I watched a channel with 25 million subscribers have a big, huge technical problem and have to restart a show that they were half hour into. It happens to everybody,
Yeah.
even the big
Yeah.
guys.
I've got this one problem that pops up every now and then. It has to do with the sound mixer that I use. But every 40 hours or so, it twigs out and it just makes me sound like a robot and stops working properly. It takes about 10 seconds to fix it, but it's really weird
Right.
how I've had it happen right before I went live and right after I come off live and a couple of times in the middle. But it's
Right.
not usually a problem. What's weird is sometimes I'll like turn on the computer and it'll happen immediately. And sometimes I might use it for 2 or 3 days and it doesn't happen at all.
Unpredictable.
Yeah, go ahead and roll on about your Etsy store. And I don't think anybody timed out Swiss Miss. Better not have anyway. Um, that's like a death sentence. Go with it.
Oh, well, my Etsy store, I just kind of sell things that I show on my channel. It's not a big store or anything like that. I do most of my sales locally, but I do share things on my Etsy that I make online. So if people want them, they can go check it out. I made a 2023 collage and put it on a puzzle and a mug. If people were interested in that, there's a lot of great channels on it. So people could have purchased. A couple people purchased the puzzle and mug. I do have a couple What's Truth designs and Tiffany Epiphany designs on there too.
So basically, it's you just generally make merch. So hypothetically speaking, you make your own merch is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
If someone were to come up with an especially catchy catchphrase for you, and it were to do well, would that help? Because some of us have the gift of gab. We don't even know what might trigger a thing.
I have collaborated with a couple channels to sell their shirts and cut
Yeah.
them a profit and stuff like that. But I don't do that currently anymore.
Right. I wouldn't
I
advise. And this is just my personal experience. When you involve yourself in dealing with money and YouTubers, you almost always come up on the short end of it. And I don't know exactly why
Mhm.
that is. That's why when I do collaborative efforts like this, I'm not doing it for money. You cannot
Right.
pay me to do some shit at the moment. There is no way to do it. Not saying that I wouldn't accept the job, just saying that at the moment there's no mechanism.
Right. I have reached out to channels and asked them, "Hey, can I make you a design?" And I'd send them a shirt, and just because I liked the channel and supported it.
I got one for you. And I've been wanting to do this for my channel for a minute. I've got this thing. Where's it at? I got a banner. I got a banner for that. Hold on. I made that one. High yield, mediocre, and aggressively average. That is the Sasquatch show. That's the Sasquatch way right there. We're not trying to be controversial. We don't want to blow anything out of the water. We just want to have a conversation that doesn't get us dosed off of YouTube.
Yeah, that's hard to do sometimes. YouTube, it's you never know when you say the wrong thing, what they might just kick you.
Honey, I caught a strike because I took a clip from a obviously set up circumstance where a dude gets bonked in his gonads and he laughs about it, but bam, violent strike.
Really?
Oh yeah, he's laying on the ground
Put stuff
giggling,
all
nice.
over YouTube?
And that stuff's all over YouTube. Yeah, yeah. I did a remix reaction about it, and YouTube was like, "Gotcha." 10 seconds. He got like 20,000 views or something in like 15 seconds. Snatched.
Did you
Must have
appeal it?
Oh hell no, that was obvious violence.
I just figured that stuff's all over YouTube already. People
Uh,
getting kicked and knocked over and stuff.
well, I got real nervous about a bunch of my old Odin Seas videos because pretty much all of that stuff is about people doing something stupid and hurting themselves. But I guess that's the difference, is hurting themselves versus someone else hurting them.
Right. I guess.
I guess. I don't know. It's YouTube. There's no interpreting that
I
shit.
I've tried to understand YouTube and I can't. There was one day when I had just reached over 700 subscribers and YouTube took my channel. They just took it. And I had
Yeah.
no idea why. Just
I,
said it was
I,
some extreme violation. I don't know. But I appealed it and got it back.
oh, cool. When mine come through, like I said, it was a legitimate strike. There was violence, so I don't have any complaints on that. But the issue is they took it without letting me know. And so I had a whole bunch of privated shorts that I had scheduled like a few days out. And I must have
Yeah.
had 50 of them in that 7-day period that I had not scheduled out properly yet, you know? So I just lost some absurd amount of them. Oh, wow. How did I do that? I've been trying to figure out how to do that for months. I bet that's it. That's how I did it. Okay. Neat.
Yeah,
That's
I wondered about that. If you had things scheduled to go live, what YouTube did if you got a strike. What did they do?
uh,
Just private it?
well, I can tell you from experience that when I hosted Flow State before the show, we set up a live stream like we're streaming to your channel and I'm streaming to my channel. We did the same thing. Before the show, he did not have a strike. 2 seconds before the show went live, he got a strike. And so it went live on my channel, but didn't go live on his channel. And we sat around for 15 minutes trying to figure out what was going on. And it wasn't until after the show that he checked his email and was like, oh, crap. Okay, well, that explains that part. But, you know, let somebody know
That's
something.
true.
Man.
YouTube was waiting for the right minute.
Right. Right. Oh my God, dude. And now I literally, like, what's today? The 29th, 30th. Today's the 30th, right? My strike dropped yesterday.
Right.
from a strike I got in November, October, early October. I just got out from under the strike yesterday.
Oh, you mean it disappeared?
Yeah, the 90, it's 90 days that you're
Yeah.
restricted. You only get like banned for 7 days or whatever.
Yeah.
But
You can
I
get rid of the warnings now too. Did you know that?
do you do re-education? I'm sorry, I don't apply to those concepts.
Well, you do if you want your channel in good standing.
Do I? Funny.
I said if.
I thought this was my first channel. I'm impressed myself, but I had planned on it taking 5 years to get 1,000 subs because I was doing stupid stuff, right? I didn't expect anybody to care, but then I couldn't do what I was trying to do, and I ended up doing this. And apparently, somebody around me is funny. I don't know who it is. I get it.
Oh, I think you have a lot of people that like you and support
What's
what
wrong
you
with
do.
those people? What, you reckon they bumped their head or something? I don't know. It's kind of a funny thing to me. Okay, so hypothetically, let's say you went on a walk tomorrow and you happen to film some high-speed chase tidbit or something, right? And you busted out 1 million views overnight, or pulled a hairy nuts and you bust out 11 million views overnight. You pick up 10,000 subscribers. Does that change anything about your channel?
Well, I typically wouldn't post high-speed chases because
Huh.
it's not content related.
Well, I'm just saying, if you happen to film something,
If I
that
post something and get 10,000 views,
or
I don't
millions.
think so. Millions.
Yeah, no.
I don't
See,
think it
Harry
would
Nuts.
change.
Let me explain. Harry Nuts was neck and neck with me for about 9 months or so, and then one afternoon he decides to go to the rodeo. And while he was at the rodeo, he saw a horse land on a dude, filmed it, uploaded it, and it got some. I think it's hovering around 22 million views right now. He's still popping in
Wow.
subscribers, like from
Good
that
for
one
him.
video. Right? That's what I said. When he hit me up, he was like, "You're going to be upset." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I just hit 10,000 subscribers." I'm like, "Good on you, mate."
10,000. Nice.
He was like, "You're not mad?" Why would I be mad? All right,
Because that's the way a lot of YouTubers are. They get mad when other people pass them in subscribers.
dude. If you go back and look at my backlog of guests that I've had in here, some of them are toting around 100,000 subscribers now. Some of them are toting around 20. There's a couple that got 4 more subscribers than they had when I interviewed them. They exist. I mean, but the difference is after interacting with me, most people take at least a little bit of effort to do an alteration in something about their channel. Any
Right.
change typically brings more viewers, more interest, whatever. It doesn't have to be a good change, bad change, whatever. Change,
Yeah.
right? Howie Hamster.
I heard some good advice from a big YouTuber. You should try to improve one thing per video. So I tried to do that.
That's not that's not bad advice. But it might not be possible to actually do it one thing per video, especially if you're going to upload a video a day or a video a week or something like that. The way I find that it works for me now, I am slightly psychopathic. I'm a little psychotic or sociopathic or something like that. I got some problems in my skull, but I'll sit around and do nothing for 2 or 3 weeks straight. And then over the course of a single week, I'll put together brand new backgrounds, brand new edits, brand new cuts, brand new videos, edit a whole bunch of videos, upload a whole bunch of videos, schedule a whole bunch of videos. And then I'll, at some point in time, I'll get done with all of the things that I have not finished yet. And I'm finished. Everything else needs too much work to release before, my next lethargic period where I
Right.
just stare at the computer and don't actually do anything with it.
So you take long breaks and then long break or long work sessions and then long break. That's
Yeah,
how you do it?
I'm liable to sit here for 48 hours straight editing and clipping and doing stuff. and then I might not look at my computer again for 2 days in a row. Not even turn it on. But I have to do it that way. I can't sit down and
You're
do
the
it.
type of person that'll upload shorts for days ahead or videos or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Well, shorts, when it comes to shorts, and this is advice I give to every single guest that comes in. My advice is shorts is your shorts can work with your content if you wish. But the way I use shorts is sort of an addendum to what I do because my content's different from yours. It may not work the same way.
Right.
I interview people, I do reaction videos, and I go over different topics and subjects and stuff. And so mine is exceptionally eclectic. And so the only throughput is humor, right? I try to upload funny shorts, whether it's my reaction or whatever. But any YouTuber trying to make YouTube work should make shorts. One a day should be uploaded. Well, not uploaded. The way I got ahead of the game on that is I made 3 a day for 2 weeks, and I uploaded 1 to release a day for 3 weeks. 3 a day for a week, 21 days straight. And then you've got another 21 that's sitting over there that haven't been allocated to a specific release. And once you get you a bulk of them in your back, like already uploaded and saved to private, you go through and set it up so that they release once a day, and you can get a month ahead pretty quick that way. Right. And once you've got that breathing room on that end, that means you don't have to work quite so diligently to do the editing and all this stuff to get a video out on Friday or Tuesday, because you've got your shorts kind of coasting through the middle ground. So YouTube's not going to forget about your channel and just remove you from the roster because you haven't uploaded. It's going to keep you in the algorithm. You're going to keep punking away at whatever it is you're doing. I use my remix feature to do reactions, but then again, I'm insane. So it works. That doesn't work for some people. Like Hippie's not insane, but he's managed to find a way to make that same process work for him.
Yeah.
Beautiful thing. On the other hand, somebody who's just going over a technical thing, somebody like Louis Rosserman or someone, it isn't going to have the same effect because they're talking about a technical thing. This is a pen. We use it to write on paper, and paper is made of wood. And, there's no humor throughput there. There's no interest to it, So it would be people that already clicking on your short.
And the shorts aren't consistent. I've done remixes where they've gotten a couple views. I've done them where they've gotten thousands. And I've done them where they've gotten tens of thousands. It isn't consistent.
It's not, but what becomes consistent is once YouTube realizes you're going to upload a short every day, it'll start giving you that 500 every short, 1,000 every short, then 2,000 every short. Once you've gone a couple of months without missing a day, they're like, oh, you're going to be a worker bee. We'll put you out here a little bit. That's how the shorts really benefit your channel. But there's a catch. Shorts viewers don't watch long form content. No. They just don't. But what it does is it puts you into the algorithm as a growing channel and gives you that little bit of push for your other videos to actually gain ground.
Yeah. Yeah. I look at it as there's 3 different algorithms. There's people that like to watch live streams. There's people that like to watch regular videos. And then there's the people that like to watch 15-second videos. There's 3 different groups of people. So if you're making content for all 3 of them, some might cross over, but you'll grow regardless if you're feeding into all of them.
Hey, Braille, down at the bottom is my email. We could probably figure it out. Hashtag just saying that. Right. I'm sure it wouldn't be too difficult. Function, work right. There we go. All right. Hey, you know what you've done? You did it. It's all your fault. You did a show.
I did it?
Yep. It was you. You did it. You did a show. Tiffany's Epiphany. Sasquatch Shills.
Shame on me.
Shame. No, it's all right. We didn't get too freakish.
Well, I've seen you got a few trolls in there, so you're welcome.
All right. There's a much easier way to go about it than mixing and matching. If you choose the right series of programs, you can put all the same program on all your devices, and they'll all work in a similar fashion and be able to share stuff back and forth. But that's complicated. That's difficult. Tell you what, I'm gonna put you out front. You tell everybody what it is that you do for a final wrap up, and then I'll talk us out, and we'll go to the after dark part. And if What's Truth wants to join us, he can. And we got a few other folks in chat that might. I don't know. We'll see. But here
me on the spotlight, are you?
Oh yeah.
Well, my channel is Tiffany's Epiphany, and I do crafting. I do unboxings. I make different things. I try new techniques, and I like to educate and share them with all my subscribers. So if you're interested in crafting, go check out the channel.
Magnificent. All right, let me see if I can click the right button. Hey, I clicked the right button. How about them apples? All right, I appreciate you coming up. This has been a magnificent show. I am going to put you backstage for a second, do the talk out, and we'll be back still live in about 4 or 5 minutes or so. And I'll drop the link in chat. Anybody who wants to come up and talk to us can, or you can run away screaming into the night, and I wouldn't blame you. Either one's
Okay.
option.
Thank you for having me.
Much appreciation and much love. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the hour, but not the end of the show. We shall remain live here for a little while. And if you want to come up and you're a previous guest, you will have preferred placement. If you're not a previous guest, we can discuss it, but it's not exactly a guarantee because people be shady. So until the next time, we are going to do this.
3, 2, 1.
If you're looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror.
The communists declared that the real differences among our people constituted the weakest and most vulnerable point in our social fabric.
It's MAGA country.
This is no hoax, ladies and gentlemen. I urge you to run for your lives while you can. We're not making this up just so we can take over the world.
The old dinosaur media isn't dying, it's dead. We are the new media.
This is our world now. Lay down and die!
Peace was never an option.
So if we don't step up and win this culture war, then who the fuck will?
Let's wake the fuck up!
We're gonna get naked.
No! I'm not locked in here with you.
You're locked in here with me.
It's what you've been waiting for. Be the one we need.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Let me show you.
Global industrial complex.
Yep.
Uniparty.
Do I really look like a guy with a plan?
The point is to destroy Western civilization from within using Maoist technique. So therefore you have to vote for me.
I don't know. This is probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Woke is Marxism, evolved to attack the West.
Hey!
Stop giving up.
It's only just begun! Now!
Do it! Yes, you can!
I'm gonna do what's called a pro gamer move.
Just do it!
Are people bitching about that?
Some people.
Of course they are. Oh, fucking A. All right, got it. Yeah, too fucking bad.
All right.
Yeah.
Far left conspiracies, to be honest with you.
Ain't no single entity going to swoop in and save the day. You are going to be continuously let down if you place all of your hope into one individual. Instead, look inside and look around. We're doing this together.
We all are fighting for the same thing, and we all see the same problem, and it's this...
It's time to stop being an NPC, get off your ass, and join the meme war.
Shame. Shame.
No, I don't like you.
Shame.
If we were in the wild, I would attack you.
I'm sick of it, man. I'm fucking sick of it. I will not do it again. Thank you.
I wonder how many people feel exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Be the beating drum at the head of the growing creative cavalry charge. Be vocal and profound in your passion for projects you enjoy.
No more excuses.
I've seen it. I can't even compute all of it. It's so fantastical. You've not seen nothing. You ain't heard nothing. You ain't smelled nothing like this. I don't have words to tell you.
A new world order.
We are in the beginning of a mass extinction.
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
Hey, wait a minute. Now keep in mind, Operation Human Shield will suffer heavy loss.
About it. You control population, you destroy the family, and then you you sow division. I mean, this is...
You don't need a destination when you're running on an omnidirectional treadmill.
We don't have enough time. There's too much CO2.
Are we ready for a new world order?
You'll never defeat the human spirit. You'll never defeat God. You'll never win.
Pray that he is watching.
Against all the evil that hell can conjure, all the wickedness that mankind can produce, we will send unto them only you.
That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
Only you. That's how we do all this stuff. See, it's all hit and miss and scratch your balls behind your back and stuff. What's up? How y'all doing? Welcome to Sasquatch After Dark. We're just going to chill like a villain. I've got a few videos over here we might check out. We might just sit here and, masturbate linguistically.
I'm not going to participate in that.
Oh, no.
May leave.
I'm just,
I drink a
Did
Red
you
Bull.
put that together?
Ma'am?
That video you play at the end, did you put that all together?
Yeah. Well, I clipped it from, I can't remember the name of the guy. I'm so sorry. Rudick did a bunch of stuff about us streamers, the people, those of us who are doing this thing are the ones doing the real news, the real stories, the real reality, Yeah. And that the powers that be that are running the mainstream media just agree on whatever points they want to cover, and that's all they cover. And so we are the news.
Yep.
And that little bit at the end of it with that poem, I actually cut that poem short because the poem is largely about like the concept of like a Spartan coming in to help a non-trained military, right? But that's not how I want to use it. I'm using it to say that we are all trolls at heart. Join this meme war that's going on. Win the culture war, not by fighting it, but by merely joining the joke. Laugh these people completely off of the face of the earth. Make them so fucking embarrassed that they did this silly bullshit that they never show their face again.
Are you talking about politics?
Well, it's culture. Culture is downstream from politics. Politics is downstream from culture. And it's really hard to have a conversation without culture, without having a conversation without politics. So not specifically, no. I'm talking about Disney ruining absolutely everything it's touched in the past 5 years. I'm talking about the fact that Amazon has completely eviscerated every movie it's made with the exception of 1 or 2 series that were done by directors that they gave complete control to. I'm talking about the fact that every major motion picture corporation in America today is doing nothing more than towing the line of big government, big business, and corporations. That's it. That's not culture. That's business.
But that's the way it's been for a while, and it has worked for them, and that is why it is. Yeah.
You're incorrect. It has not worked for them. There is a lag between action and reaction. They have been riding the wave of that lag. Only in the past couple of years have people realized that there's more to it than just really weird teachers. There's more to it than just strange shows coming on TV. There's more to it than just them putting children prod stuff in Target. There's more to it than just drag story hour. There's more to it than all of these things are not coincidence. This is all on top of each other, done in layers specifically to put a divisive position between us. This is intersectionality at its finest. Its only purpose is to divide us. And there's one thing we can all agree on: movies fucking suck.
Nowadays, I guess I don't watch movies anymore because I'm always.
But they didn't
off
used
on
to suck.
YouTube.
But they didn't used to suck, and
No.
you used to watch movies.
I used to watch movies. Yeah, movies used to be awesome. I used to like pay money to go to the movies. That used to be my fucking thing.
Oh,
I
baby.
used to love that.
You're going to have to come lick on one of my ears later and whisper sweet nothings because, you know, I miss you so much. But modern movies suck, almost all of them. And I'm going to I'm going to do a video. It is going to be probably my first legitimate YouTube video upload done in the YouTuber style of YouTube, right? I want to do a Rebel Moon review because I liked it.
A what movie now?
There's a new movie called Rebel Moon done by, I think, Netflix or Amazon. I think it's Amazon, one or the other. And it was originally pitched to be a prequel to some vague Star Wars bullshit, but got passed over by Disney, and someone else picked it up. Schneider picked it up and made Rebel Moon, but with no reference to Star Wars whatsoever.
Right. I think I've seen the previews for that movie.
So it's getting a whole bunch of flack in the press. It's getting, well, the press all loved it, of course, because they're all automatons and lockstep. It's catching a bunch of flack because it doesn't make any sense.
Who's in it?
Bunch of great people. The actors are kind of two-dimensional. The dialogue is sort of trash. The actual plot is sort of a joke. But let me back you up and introduce you to a little movie called Star Wars. Now, the dialogue in that movie was on point. The characters were absolutely flawless, and the hero's journey in that movie was immaculate. Rebel Dawn doesn't bring any of that to the table. But what it does do well is it initiates an IP standing. There is a fully fleshed out concept of a universe sitting right here. The beginnings of several stories have been touched on in this first movie. And if the universe continues from this point, it may turn out to be a good movie. All of the ingredients are there. And if they're clever with the future writing, then it will work. However, what's actually going to happen is if it has any level of success today, somebody's going to buy out the IP tomorrow, and then it'll be the Rings of Power all over again. It reads exactly like Harmony Unleashed.
I don't think I know what that is. I don't think
that's the Disney Plus series that Captain Curmudgeon had an AI write for us.
That man is something else. He's something else.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what to say he is. He's one of them things. All right, let's get into it.
I like this hell thing. That's awesome.
Oh, I've got a bunch of new stuff. Hold on.
I've really got to get me a green screen now for that reason alone. Little Red Riding Hood.
I've been hold on. I've been working. I've been doing stuff.
I mean,
yeah.
Lightning's cool. I was just talking about that earlier today.
Different little things and stuff for doings. Most of it I did for the blast radius, but I did do a few for myself. Anyway, I don't like that anymore. I'm going to set it up this way. Yeah. Okay. So what do you know about Little Red Riding Hood? Wait, let me do this right. Hey, Little Red Riding Hood, You sure are looking good.
Let me know when you do the story.
This big bad wolf could want.
That's Moses. That's not the same.
Yeah.
You are correct. That is Moses. What
That
we're
got me
getting
fucked up.
is the back source, the source material behind Little Red Riding Hood and where that story initially comes from. You ready for it?
No, but I'm gonna go ahead and say, shoot it to me. Let's hear this pitch.
People across the world told each other
Love
tales
you,
of how
baby.
they came to be, of heroes and monsters, romance and tragedy, death and rebirth. Mythology helped shape the ancient world, explaining the unexplainable. This is Mythology Unleashed.
What's that?
Once upon a time, in the Black Forest of Germany, there lived a young girl, beloved by all who knew her. But none loved her as much as her grandmother, who would do anything for her. One day, she gave the girl a token of her love, a red velvet cloak. The cloak suited her so well that she seldom took it off, and was thus called Little Red Riding Hood. One summer day, Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother had fallen ill, and the girl was tasked with bringing her a piece of cake and a bottle of wine to her home a league deep in the woods. Before she set off, Little Red's mother packed her basket and warned her to stay on the path and be wary, for the woods are not a safe place. With a spring in her step, Little Red Riding Hood was off into the woods to her grandmother's home. Little Red's mother was right.
Much love,
The Black
Tiffany.
Forest
You have
was
a
not a
lovely
safe
evening.
place, especially for a small child. Even during the daylight hours, the woods were full of shadows. The trees closed in from all around. A truly foreboding place where all manner of ravenous beasts lurked, waiting.
So we're in the deepest, darkest portions of the woods at this point. Now let's go over the story. What do you remember of Little Red Riding Hood?
Well, she was going to see her grandmother, and when she got there, the wolf had already ate her grandmother.
Oh, but there's things that happen before she gets there, right?
I guess. I
Over
don't
the
really
river
remember. I just
and through the
remember. Did she run into the wolf on the way there?
Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go.
Yeah.
Right. So things happen before she gets there to tip her off that something nefarious might be going on. Now, most versions of this story don't tell you exactly what happened, but we do get some suggestions. For instance, she obviously meets the woodsman at some point because the woodsman is the one that shows up and saves her. But I don't remember that being in the early parts of the story. He just seems to pop out of the woodwork at the end. Another point is she seems to be aware that something nefarious is taking place at grandma's house before she ever even walks in the door, which implies that she may have encountered a wolf at some point in time before this point, knowing that he is a clever and nefarious being, a classic trickster figure, if you will. So we don't get this backstory directly, but we do get the implications of such things having happened. Also, last question, and we'll continue with the video. How old is she?
I always understood or assumed her to be anywhere between the ages of like 12 and like maybe 15 at the most.
Okay, so the question came up by Karma's Pimp is what accounts we have outside of Brothers Grimm? None directly. What we do have, however, are old stories from the same region from which the Brothers Grimm derived their tales that are very, very similar, but don't mention things like the Red Riding, like the Red Hood. Don't mention things like the river, and maybe use a guardsman instead of a woodsman. There's other stories along the same vein. Basically, it's a cautionary tale. Don't trust strangers. Don't judge a book by its cover, because in at least one of these tales, the protagonist is walking down the river or walking down the trail and comes to a river where she encounters the woodsman cutting logs and pushing them into the river to float for them to go downstream to the log mill. Right. She encounters the axe man and thinks that he's very gruff, very savage, and looks very mean. And so she avoids him and runs across the bridge to the other side of the river, where she sees a wolf who is timid and seems scared of her. And she doesn't take it as a threat. Instead, she knows wolves are bad, so she doesn't bother the wolf, and the wolf doesn't bother her. But it does kind of scare her a little bit, and she moves on down the trail, where she comes across her grandmother's house. She gets there, the wolf's eating the grandmother and is trying to pretend to be the grandmother. Having met these two characters, you are taught not to trust wolves and not to judge people too harshly based on appearances, because the wolf has moved ahead of her using wolfly movement to literally subjugate his or subvert itself into her grandmother's skin, literally. And take over her life in order to eat the little girl. Now, there's all kinds of weird psychological trash we could, like, little games we could play with this circumstance, right? But we're going to skip Chase. We're going to say that she is 13 years old.
Okay.
The trip is not that far, and goes right by the woodsman, whom is a trusted individual, not from her perspective, but at least from the story's overarching perspective, right? Okay. He shows up and saves her from the wolf, and depending on which version of the story you're reading, saves the grandmother as well.
Right.
So there's a lot going on in a very simple story, and it's barely even a nursery rhyme. But there's a bunch going on in it, right?
No.
Never thought about it that deep, did you?
No, but also until we were talking about it earlier. So like with the like, you know about the missing 411 cases, right? Like
a lot of them, not all of them.
Okay. Well, like well, you know, there is like a common theme sometimes with people wearing red that go missing.
All right. So let's back up here. If you walk into, you ever heard Teddy Bear's Picnic?
Oh,
good advice. Go back and listen to Teddy Bear's Picnic. It'll give you some good survival advice for being in the woods. But the point is, anytime you leave the realm of civilization, once you leave that tarmac behind, and you start into unmarked wilderness, you are immediately taking your life in your own hands. You are responsible for your own safety and can blame no one else for what takes place. Whether you're bitten by a snake or just twist your ankle, it could be the last time anybody sees you, and it does not require nefarious activity to get to that point.
Right.
All it requires is an oops. One oops away from civilization, and you're back on the food chain.
The door just open. I know.
So when you're talking about a missing 411 case, the farther away from civilization this case takes you, the less it matters to the mystery of it. Because if you're talking about a hunter that's been on a 2-day hike to get to his hunting area and he disappears, it would take an equivalent search to do that same 2-day hike to get far enough in there to possibly find him.
Right.
These people are not typically found by search parties. They're found by other people years, months, sometimes years later, when they just happen to set camp, look over and see a skull staring at them from a rock. Like, holy shit, that's a person. And they call somebody, and then some people come up and they're like, oh, that's David Transom. He'd been missing for 15 years. He must have got crushed under that rock. It took him 15 years to get eroded out from under it. Sometimes the only trace left is literally a fucking ID.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that too. most of your credit cards and stuff are not very well protected versus UV or general collateral damage. Whereas your ID from the States, typically a very heavily laminated bit of whatever, and it can lay in the sun for God knows how long undamaged because it's designed to be, robust. Whereas a credit card's only supposed to be used for what, like 9 months, typically.
I don't know, man. I must put my IDs and my cards through a lot of shit.
Right.
Because sometimes I don't know what the hell happens to them. Sometimes I look at them and I go, this thing's supposed to got 2 more years left on it, and I'm gonna have to order another one. Moving right along.
Anyway, let's move along. Yeah.
To snatch the unwary traveler, like a frog snatches a fly. But Red Riding Hood paid the forest and its creatures no mind, her head swimming with youthful bliss. Then suddenly, a large wolf stepped out onto the path in front of her. The great beast eyed her hungrily, licking his chops. The innocent little Red naively smiled at him and bade him a good day. The wolf, a sneaky creature by nature, asked her where she was off to, and what, pray tell, was in her basket. The young and trusting girl replied she was off to her ill grandmother's house, and the basket's contents of cake and wine were for her. The wolf's mouth began to water, and he continued to take advantage of the girl's innocence by asking where her grandmother lived. Red Riding Hood then revealed her grandmother's cottage was a quarter league further up the path, underneath 3 large oaks. The wolf began to plot. He would feast upon the girl, her grandmother, and the basket's contents. But he needed to act craftily. He brought Little Red Riding Hood to a small clearing in the woods, a meadow filled with beautiful flowers and birds singing. Little Red fancied bringing her grandmother a bouquet of wild flowers, and lost herself in the meadow. As the girl frolicked, the wolf made his way to grandmother's house.
All right. So we've reached that point in the story where clearly we've had an interaction with a nefarious being who's at least represented in this case by the wolf. This is your classic trickster character. Its whole purpose here is to mislead, misinform, and be the bulwark, the thwart to the adventure that's taking place. However, we have a twist. At this point, taking the information Little Red Riding Hood has put to the wolf, he's gone around her off trail while she plays and frolics her way over to grandmother's house. He runs and gets there before her, where he lets himself in, attacks grandmother, and then takes her place, assuming, ostensibly eating her whole. According to the story, he swallows her whole. Now, this is apparently not your normal wolf. How many wolves do you know that can swallow a little old lady whole? And we are talking about a medieval little old lady. She's not 70. She's not 90. She might be 35.
Yeah. Really?
We're not talking little old lady.
Yeah.
We're just talking the classic old lady from the Middle Ages, 35 to 40.
Yeah, like me, grandma. Me as a grandma. I'm stealthy still. Like, not as stealthy as I used to be.
Have you ever been swallowed whole by a wolf?
No.
Okay. All right. So maybe this isn't a wolf. Maybe this is, as I said, a demon or spirit of some sort, and is merely taking the form of a wolf to sucker Little Red Riding Hood. But what's he suckering for? He just wants the food in the basket? That can't be all. He just ate a person whole. How's he going to eat food in the basket? In order to take the food, he's got to eat Little Red Riding Hood,
so it's
too.
got to be deeper than that.
There's got to be something other than that. And so buried in the depths of this little fairy tale is the expression of innocence, and it's defiling through action. It's not said through sex. It is stated through the realization of death and consequences, right?
Yeah.
The judgment of the woodsman, the false judgment of the wolf, the actual witnessing of the horror of the grandmother being cut out. This is all visceral and a direct directly breaks the innocence of a young child, which is, of course, metaphorically taking her virginity.
Yeah. So then maybe the wolf is not necessarily nothing more than a metaphor for man.
Another woodsman?
Yeah.
Random ne'er-do-well? I don't know. If you go back, all right, he's going to go over some of the earlier stories that are very similar, but are distinctly not Red Riding Hood in just a second. It's not a really long video, but the story itself is really dense, and you'll find this about a lot of the old Grimm's fairy tales and the other Anders, Hans Christian. These guys, they knew how to get miles out of few words. When you read one of these fairy tales, one of these bedtime stories, there's a lot of information chalked in there, and most of it is cautionary to teach you not to trust strangers, not to go out in the dark, don't go out alone, don't lose your parents, don't misplace, it's almost all cautionary, but some of it's metaphysical cautionary.
Yeah.
Don't do deals with devils. Never trust an inhuman intellect. Never get involved with a Sicilian when death is on the line.
And knocked on the door, pretending to be Little Red. Grandmother was excited and welcomed the visitor into her home. As the door swung open, the wolf leapt upon Grandmother and devoured her. Quickly, he dressed himself in her clothing.
All right, we have gone beyond the realm of a normal wolf. Things have become strange because this wolf just ate grandmother and then dressed up in drag to play with her grandchildren. It's just sketchy on its base. I mean, I don't know.
I love it. I love it.
Suspect right out the gate, dude. Like, homie's not thinking right. Or maybe, as I said before, he's a trickster figure and he's not meant to be anything human. He could be any normal type person with a mental illness, and the wolf paradigm would work.
Right.
His next course was on its way. A short while later, Red Riding Hood arrived at Grandmother's cottage. As she entered the house, a sense of dread came over her, but her youth and inexperience kept her from discerning exactly why. She went into Grandmother's room and pulled back the curtain to see her grandmother lying in bed with her cap pulled far down over her face.
Oh, Grandmother, what big ears you have.
Oh, all the better to hear you with.
But, Grandmother, what big eyes you have.
The better to see you with.
And, Grandmother, what big hands you have.
The better.
Okay, so in this depiction, we have Little Red Riding Hood being a young lass of barely 6. This young girl has been sent out with a picnic basket across miles of forest to go to her grandmother's house through a dangerous dark wood and over at least one river, and I remember no mention of a bridge.
Yeah, I know.
So are we like hopscotching rocks across this thing, or is she doing a full-on long jump? I mean, she's what,
That
7?
would have been me when I was 6. I was gangster as fuck. My family totally could have sent me out on that track. I'd have been fine. I would have made it to Grandma's house, no problem.
I don't know about at 6. I mean, I was doing stupid shit like that, but it was not approved. I remember getting my ass whipped on several occasions because I fell asleep a little bit out of sight somewhere.
Yeah.
They've been looking at me for 4 hours. I was over there snocked out.
Yeah. If they hollered for us and we didn't come back, or we were out, like we couldn't hear them. Well, when we did get home, we was going right over there to that yellow bell bush and pulling a hickory off that thing, and we was going to get it. That shit was not cool.
My mama kept a peach and plum patch in the backyard, cut freshly each year just for the single long strand freaking switches, bro.
Man, and they make a sound.
Fuck the sound. I'm talking about the blisters, son. Them blood blisters. Legs are unfearsome. Ooh,
Oh shit, mine could get you, and it would cut you, like just cut you, just clean cut right across the side of your leg.
All right,
my mama would fucking play.
Got a story to tell you when we come off live because it's kind of stupid. I was talking to somebody about working in the movie store, and they reminded me of it. Just remind me when we get backstage to tell the story about
when you worked at the movie store.
Oh, dude, there's so many of them that's not going to help me remember it.
Okay.
But it's specifically about the movie. That's the title of the movie. Don't fuck with me.
Okay.
Okay. To hug you with.
Oh, but grandmother, what a big terrible mouth you have.
All the better to eat you with.
No sooner did the words escape his lips, the wolf leapt from his disguise, and in the blink of an eye, he swallowed the girl whole and consumed her basket's gifts. With his belly full, his mind addled by the wine, the wolf lay down in the bed and fell fast asleep. What the wolf did not know, however, was he himself was being hunted by a woodcutter and huntsman, his rifle slung over his shoulder, an axe in his hand. The woodsman happened to be passing the cottage when he heard the beastly snores coming from within. He knew the woman who lived there, and knew in his heart something was not right. He entered the house and found the wolf lying in bed.
All right, so here's a nefarious point about the woodcutter. He's clearly breaking and entering on an old lady's pad.
Yeah. But I mean, he's trying to save the girl.
Right. Now, but does he know that? No, he's hunting the wolf. He just knows that the grandma should have been outside tending to her garden or what the hell ever, and she wasn't there. So he went and banged on the door. She didn't answer. He went inside to find the body, and there's a wolf laid out in the bed.
And
Good
the girl?
Well, the girl's gone. There's no sign of either of them. Even the picnic basket is missing because he ate it basket and all, if I remember right.
God, he was going hard on the food. He was hungry like a wolf.
He was about to strike the wolf down when he realized the poor victim inside could still be saved. So he took a pair of scissors and began to cut open the drunk wolf's stomach. Out came both Little Red and her grandmother, both shaken, but very much alive and very much whole. While the woodsman attended the sick grandmother, Red Riding Hood hastily gathered large stones and placed them in the open cavity of the wolf's stomach before stitching it closed. When the wolf awoke, he was frightened by the dreaded woodsman and the girl and her grandparent, whom he had just eaten, standing before him. He tried to run, but in vain. The stones...
Okay. When you get a chance, ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to go check out the... what's the name of it? The Monster of Chevalier? I don't know. I'm Southern, so I don't do French real good. It's not I'm the other type of Southern, the redneck type of Southern, so I don't do French very well. But if you check it out, this is apparently, it goes back to something like 1470, 1460, and there's this story about a single wolf that terrorized not just one village, but multiple villages in the French countryside. It was such a terror that not only did it kill the guardsmen and the hunters that were sent after it, it also killed the tax collectors and the woods. Like
they were not playing no more.
the Crown found out there was a problem is the taxes didn't show up. And then they didn't show up again. And the Crown turns and goes like, hey, ain't there like 4 villages over there what ain't paid their taxes? Yeah, that's not all. Actually, we lost a bunch of other villages' taxes in the same little event. He's like, what do you mean? Well, they went and never came back.
Yeah, man. It's like, so we just was like.
So in this story, the king sends a group of 20 people with guns, and they go, and one comes back. And he tells a story of having been set upon by the largest wolf he's ever seen, and the wolf and other wolves that were with him massacred his entire crew. And the only reason he survived was because the horse he was riding kicked the lead wolf in the head, and the wolf went back to go eat less defensive creatures. And he rode his horse to death getting out of that place.
That's crazy.
It's wrapped up in a blanket going, you're not going to believe what I have to tell you. Now, the big question about that story is largely what the hell was it, right?
A dire wolf.
Wolves don't do that shit, but lions do. But would wolves
about that?
With a lion?
Yeah.
Well, hyenas follow lions around.
Yeah, because they want to get the scraps.
Why wouldn't a pack of wolves do so in France if a lion should happen to get there somehow? So I've always kind of assumed that it was a lion because the description given by the various people who gave descriptions, none of them actually fit the description of a wolf. A lot of people want to say that it was like a hyena or maybe a jackal or something, but it also fit the descriptions of a hyena or jackal, but does kind of fit the description of a young male lion. And if the wolves, let's say hypothetically a menagerie was being collected, and you have wolves and the lion in the menagerie escapes and they collect back some parts of it, not including the male lion and the wolf pack. These wolves are familiar with the lion and are more familiar with it than it would be with the local wolf packs. Right. And so under that circumstance, I could possibly see where a lion wouldn't become direct competition with the wolves, given how lions hunt versus how wolves hunt are very, very different. This pack of wolves would suddenly have a major fucking advantage over all of the other wolves in this area. I mean, wolves do the whole ambush prey thing, but they're more of a run them down and eat them. Lions, on the other hand, will take your whole head off in one go.
Yep.
You're dead.
And then it's like,
it's over. And if they're not fighting for food from the wolf, then that would be interesting. However, there's another option. It is possible that the lion was so hungry because the wolves were driving it off of every kill it made. And if that's the case, it would explain why the lion might have killed 150 people over the course of years. I mean,
it was overeaten.
Maybe much, much more, because when you look at the history of those towns during that time period, there was an awful lot of missing husbands and wives.
Yeah.
When the lockdown went down, like everybody locked up for 2 months, and when they came out in spring, it wasn't no safer, but there was a lot of infidelity going on because there was a lot of people who got the old school divorce.
Yeah.
Took them out behind the woodshed and finished it.
In his belly sent him crashing to the ground, and he fell dead. The woodsman proceeded to skin the wolf, and he went on home, as Little Red embraced her grandmother.
So this is another thing. What's always bothered me, why take the time to put rocks in the wolf's belly and then wait for it to wake up and then kill it? That seems extra cruel to me.
Yeah. What was the purpose of the rocks?
Just to take the place of so that the wolf wouldn't know that he hadn't been that he hadn't eaten the people. It was just to take the place of the people. He ate some people whole. That doesn't sound like any kind of wolf I ever heard of.
But
Land
also,
shark.
like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, but anyway, and if they're
Not-
going to kill him anyways.
What's going on here is the general story's been told. It's kind of hard to explain. We're discussing the ramifications of the story as it's told, involving things like the cautionary tale of judging strangers by how they appear, dealing with nefarious people on dark forest pathways, of allowing your children to wander around in the forest and across rivers, and sending out young children on their own to do stuff, and exactly the ramifications of what the woodcutter versus the wolf means, because the woodcutter would, a hunter would ordinarily be a rather gruff character and not the kind of person you would want your child
Right.
up on. Right?
Theoretically.
I mean, if you ran across me out in the middle of the fucking Adirondacks, you probably wouldn't look over and go, hey, he looks like a really nice guy, because I'm probably not going to be happy having walked to this motherfucker.
Right.
So you're some bitch face, some resting bitch face, and you're going to think, oh, shit, I'm just going to ease on around this guy and just let him go. We're just not even going to have that conversation.
Yeah.
And I don't, Joe, cool. Yeah, baby. He's my little spoon.
I love it.
Leave the path or be too trusting of strangers. 1 year later, Little Red Riding Hood was once again on the path to grandmother's house. As with before, a wolf stepped out from the shadows and attempted to entice her from the path.
Come on in, Joe. I said
But
your
Little
name
Red
3
had learned
times
from
in
past
the dark in
experience
front of a
and
mirror.
ignored the predator.
So weird.
The wolf followed her scent to the
I have
cottage,
summoned you.
where he knocked on the door. But Little Red and her grandmother made no sound and did not let him in.
No,
Wolf
wait, no,
circled the
I'm wrong.
house
I said to her, what you do to what you do to summon Joe Cool, right? is you got to say his name 3 times and do 3 circles in front of a ring light and a green screen, and then drop a StreamYard link. I've only dropped it twice. Hold on. My bad. I forgot to do it that 3rd and magical time. There's something wrong with me, and I'm not sure what it is, but it seems to work for YouTube.
Leapt to the roof, intending on pouncing on the girl when she would leave that evening. But grandmother had a plan. She had Red Riding Hood fill a great trough with water she had boiled sausages.
Dude, you got to smile or something.
The smell of the sausages reached the wolf, and he sniffed towards the trough.
I love that.
I'm sorry, dude.
So far over the side.
I'm sorry, dude. I couldn't see nothing but a hood. He popped up back. I think he popped up backstage, but all I saw was like an outline of a hood, I think. Oh my God. What are you doing? Are you being attacked by
aliens?
that happens.
I got to check in with them every once in a while.
And down the wolf fell, into the trough, into the water, and was drowned. Little Red Riding Hood.
You gonna let me see you? Some kind of seeing or something? I hear you.
You can't see me, Mama.
No, you're gonna have to smile. I don't know what to tell you. I love you though.
All right. I see you guys well. I see you guys perfectly.
Cool.
What's going on, guys?
We're discussing the nefarious stories. I'm doing some of my after darks. I'm doing different fairy tales and the cautionary tales that they represent. Right?
Yeah. Have you? I hear that. Well, this is good because I hear that a lot of these fairy tales come from real stories, like the I don't know, the song "Ring Around the Rosie" or whatever people get used to, come from an actual story of the Black Death or something. If you know any origins to these stories, I'm very interested.
I can't pull them directly out of my
All
brain.
right, all right.
Maybe
All
to
right.
I do know that the Ring Around the Rosie song originated from a previous plague that rolled through. I can't remember the name of the what it was called, but it wasn't the Black Plague. It happened before the Black Plague, but the Black Plague,
Okay.
but the just the original plague that came through was pneumonia, right? And it showed up a couple of months or years before the bubonic skin lesions and all that stuff. Because you get the plague, your homie sneezes twice, his ass is dead Tuesday.
The other one was like when they got syphilis, wasn't it?
No.
There was a bad syphilis outbreak. Yeah. I think that's where that comes from. Seriously, no shit. I'm serious. For real. Hey, what was that?
If Ring Around the Rosie came from syphilis outbreak, I would crack the fuck up.
That would be hilarious. But the Ring Around the Rosie bit was directly from the Black Plague, but the song and tune was used for previous descriptive.
I think I heard that.
You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that the Ring Around the Rosie song is older. I'm saying the tune was based off of basically an early drinking tune.
I'm sure that you're right. I'm sure I've heard that before. Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the tune, but it is the classic Rosie. It's just got different words.
All of these, well, I don't know what you've been showing, but all of these things would have some type of, at least I believe, origin to serve a purpose, like the ones you're talking about, a precautionary tale, or to teach kids a lesson. So that's interesting as well. It was formed and it was written in 1870 so and so in Liechtenstein by a female author. All that would give you clues as to what what's going on there. Yeah.
Right. As far as the origins of the base story, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, it goes back like way back. Hans Christian was what, 1480, something like that. So
that's how old this fucking story is,
dude. It's ancient. It's really fucking old, but not as Little Red Riding Hood.
I was about to say, then that would mean that it would have been changed drastically from the original. What we know now would probably barely look like what if it's that old, like a game of telephone. It looked totally different now.
Exactly. Well, to an extent, there's a couple of
right to an extent
possible originating stories where children got missing in the woods, and it was assumed got them and stuff, but none of these directly analogize well. It seems to be partially mythical and possibly left over from some oral tradition older than the written tradition that wasn't kept by the church.
All right.
The general story of children do not go in the woods at night, don't run off alone without your parents, don't leave your old folks alone, don't trust wolves, and don't judge people that you find in dark alleys just because they're in dark alleys,
Yeah, that would have been a story that existed all throughout time. So the story can be damn near old as man, because that's universal.
And that's what I'm getting at here.
All right, I haven't seen any other video. Just still showing some video, then I'd be able to comment.
20 seconds of the video left. We're pretty much done with the Little Red Riding Hood segment.
Okay, all right.
And we're having this conversation. We can carry it into fairy tales further. Because I've already covered a couple of other ones.
Or whatever. If you had something else with next or something, that'd be even better. I can get in at ground level. If you were done, yes, me and you can talk about shit forever.
So what we got what we got over here is that's not right.
January 2000.
No. Where's my button? Damn it, Joe. You make me all flabbergasted. I'm so Twitter-pated with you, I can't do my show right. I'm in love. Yeah, we should get together later and cuddle. I know you're cold.
I've already got somebody cuddling with me over here. Sorry, no room for three.
You're a little spoon. Everybody needs a little spoon. Anyway.
6'5", You know, the little spoon. Just saying. You better be a big motherfucker if you gonna little spoon me, bro.
I'm very fuzzy. You know your back's cold. Don't lie.
I'm entirely too evil for anyone to spoon with me. It's sad.
I'm sorry, Joe. I'm just
That's so funny.
5
All right,
parents
let's see,
revenge their kids' cartel kidnappings.
What about a kidnapping?
Cartel kidnappings happen all
Okay.
day.
Yeah.
Every few weeks, you hear about somebody else getting jacked in Mexico or from the border or from just
Yes.
across the border or whatever.
To the point where the affluent people over there in Mexico, if you're going to stay there, they invest in things like bulletproof cars and extra security because being kidnapped is so prevalent over there.
Very real threat. And it's not something you have to necessarily be rich to have happen to you. They can just mistake you for somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh, that chick kind of looks like that chick. Let's snatch her just in case. Oh, it's not her. We'll sell her off to wherever we can sell them. Or just, behind the chemical sheds.
I'm eating cookies, so I'll keep muting.
Yeah, baby. We're going to let this one roll. These are 5 parents who revenged their kids' kidnappings. I loved this video when I watched it. It's a little bit triggery, but we're going to roll with it.
2014, Karen Rodriguez was brutally kidnapped and murdered. Her mother, Miriam Rodriguez, purchased a pistol, changed her appearance, and transformed into this modern-day Sherlock Holmes, tracking down every one of her daughter's kidnappers. What happened next? Well, get ready to delve into the stories of these 5 parents who revenged their kids' cartel kidnappings.
Do you have kids, Joe? That you know of?
I do. I got one, a daughter, and she's grown. And I am familiar with this first story, at least with the chick. I'm familiar.
Okay.
Mhm.
So if somebody jacked her, dipped, and you had a trail that you thought you could follow, how far would you go to get your girl back?
Oh, I think I lost my sound or something. Hold on. Oh, there.
Let me know when you
My shit's going in and out.
All right, bud. I'm going to let this play for a minute. You work on it.
Number 5, Eduardo Gallo. Eduardo refused to let his daughter's brutal kidnapping and slaying become just another forgotten case, so he would solve it himself, right up to the arrest of his daughter's killer. July 2000, Paola Gallo was chilling with her friends at her parents' weekend home when a group of attackers recklessly stormed in. They jumped over the fence, barged into the house, and terrorized everyone for 2 hours. They wouldn't only steal jewelry and cash, but also kidnap Paola and 2 cars. This incident was just one of many kidnappings plaguing Tepoztlán, Mexico at the time. And like countless other families in Mexico who had fallen victims to kidnappings, Gallo paid a hefty ransom of around $18,500, along with some jewelry, to the cartel members who had taken his daughter. However, a week later, Paola's lifeless body was discovered. She'd been mercilessly shot twice, once in the neck and once in the back. At her funeral, Gallo, with tears streaming down his face, poured out his love for his beloved child. He said,
"I'll always love you, my adored child. Thank you for your smile and your caress. Thank you for your songs, your happiness, and your love of life. You always lit the path so I could distinguish between justice and vengeance."
The pain Gallo felt was beyond words. He knew that his daughter's final moments must have been filled with sheer terror. And even though 3 suspects were quickly caught, the actual person who pulled the trigger and took her life was still on the loose. Driven by an overwhelming desire for justice, Gallo made a decision. He would close down his consulting firm and transform into a relentless detective, determined to find the killer on his own. Over the next year, Gallo tirelessly followed leads on the street and carried.
I want to point out that I can remain autistic far longer than most people can remain hidden.
You can remain autistic? I don't know what that means.
That means that once I decide to focus on a thing to do it, it's now a function of my life and becomes a part of what I do. And you're going to have to continue to hide to remain hide. I can remain autistic. It's no effort.
He's not lying. He's my crazy stalker ex. He's all the time. He's outside the window. So I know he's very persistent. I know.
I got my favorites.
Name and phone records. His research uncovered a shocking fact. A staggering 90% of kidnappings in Mexico go unreported. This happens because the closest to the victims are often paralyzed with fear, terrified of the brutal consequences that may follow. But Gallo wasn't afraid, and he was determined to avenge his daughter's kidnapping and murderer at all costs. And his determination did pay off in the end. Paula's father not only identified the main gunman, but also assisted the authorities in tracking him down. Gallo managed to trace the shooter to a payphone he used. The police then set up a stakeout, which led to the arrest of a 28-year-old man named Francisco Zamora Arellano. He eventually confessed to killing Paula. After the case was closed, Morelos State Police Chief Jose Agustin Montiel said about Gallo,
This man, with great bravery, set aside all his affairs and carried out the entire investigation.
Sadly, Mexico is a country plagued by kidnappings. Believe it or not, this problem extends beyond innocent civilians, reaching even those on top of the food chain, the drug lords themselves.
All right.
90% unreported. That's crazy.
As I understand it, and this is coming from a friend of mine that lived down there for many years. She immigrated up here, I think, in like 98. And she said that the reason most of them go unreported is because most of the demands come in and don't have anything to do with anything other than don't open a restaurant. Sell that house over there.
So why wouldn't the kidnapping itself don't get reported? They'd say 90%. So you snatch them.
Right.
Why wouldn't you report it? I mean, outside of the obvious, you're scared the gang's going to fucking kill you.
The thing is, the only demand that they make is to do something that you weren't sold on doing in the first place. To don't do this.
Oh, meaning they get the kids back? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost every time. There's something like
All
an
right.
80% recovery rate. And typically, when unreported, the kid is found wandering around somewhere where they're like, go.
Okay. That's interesting.
They're not after money, they're after influence, they're after a petite piece of property or the ability to travel through a specific area without having to run across somebody that's not on the grift. So
businessman.
It's just a business. Exactly. They're just like, hey, I got your kid over here, but you're not opening your ice cream stand on the square, do it somewhere else. All right. And then your kid shows back up. And you open your ice cream stand 2 miles, in the other direction.
All right.
Yeah. Nobody ever knows. Nobody ever says anything. But there's always the anecdotal stories where it's kind of weird that everybody knows someone who's been kidnapped over there.
Yes.
But it's supposed to be a relatively rare event.
I thought it was always for financial. Those are the stories that make it to me and to where I would see. It's always someone of means, and I don't mean super rich, just you might be in a private school over there or something, and you're suddenly a fucking target, and it's business as usual over there as well. You pay, you get your kid back.
Or you don't. And
yeah. Normally, like you say, they do this shit. It's money. And from what I saw, and
part of the business operation.
Yeah, I've heard that they'll fucking rob the same people or go after, like, here we go, like the pirates. They'll rob the same fucking business over and over, the same company. They'll just hit them over and over again.
Right. You remember how I was telling you I used an ice cream stand, but it was actually a type of like food truck operation that she was running down there. And she was basically approached, told that this area wouldn't be good for her. She didn't listen. Something that she never really specified happened, and she moved all the trucks to a different part of town. So she was like, most of the time, it is merely to remove eyes from an area or removes the eyes that aren't being controlled. So
Right.
if the people robbed that sushi bar or whatever like once a week, the robbery may well have been just a cover to pay the mob.
Right.
That you can claim it on insurance and the people still get their cut.
Right. Yeah. It comes up, it's logical.
Just a business. Don't get it twisted. If they kill that child, they have to deal with all of the fallout of this type of shit.
And then you can't get money. You know, it kills the business. If you know, why would people pay you if all y'all gonna do is kill my kid? You must keep up giving them their fucking kids back to make it profitable.
It has to be a two-way street. All negotiations and businesses are. Now, you may have one person in a position of absolute power, but you still have the choice and the negotiation position of saying, I'm either going to do it or not. And if you don't do it, then they can't trust you.
Who was that who famously didn't pay for their kid? Was it one of the Rockefellers? Or he billed down the price. You know, dude wanted millions or something. He told you whittled it down to 60 grand or something. I think it was one of the fucking Rockefellers or something.
Wasn't it one of the didn't she end up robbing a bank with those folks?
You're talking about the chick.
Okay, not the same case. Okay.
No, you're talking about the chick with the robbed with some black folks, and then they kept her in the closet for a while. Patty Hearst, I think.
Losing my fucking mind over here.
Yeah.
Just fixing to grab my phone and search it because I'm fixing to lose it. So
right up in there.
El Chapo, right?
Shit, I forgot the fucking original story or what the fuck I was telling about that. Think about Patty Hearst. No, it's not a big deal. Patty Hearst was really good.
They were talking about one of the Rockefellers or whatever that didn't pay.
Oh, yes. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which one was it? Isn't that what it wasn't? Rockefeller?
It was a Rockefeller. And what's that other?
Rockefeller or somebody. It was.
What's the other big?
Rothschild?
Rothschild. Either Rothschild or Rockefeller. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Rothschild.
Yeah.
I don't think about it.
Thunderbird.
But fuck that. How you gonna not put man? No, don't even give me started on that.
I got a theory on that, although I have no proof.
What?
Okay.
All right. So homie was like negotiating with the guys that had his kid, right? And I think while he was doing that, he was pulling his big banker big buddy strings to get it undone on the other end, you know, clandestine like. Because homie might have been like buddies with shit like Navy SEALs and admirals.
So you're thinking that the reason he did it was because he was kind of stalling for time while he checked other avenues?
I think that he thought they had already killed the subject, and so he never intended to pay them crackers a single cent. His intention was to get them.
Yeah, but in the end, if let's say he negotiated close to what they wanted and shit, I could see, you know, something was going on and he was really going to kill their ass. But the fact that he first said no and came back with such a tiny offer, and I think quickly, we should look that shit up. I'll
look it up. I'll look it up, but I'll do a whole show about it.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry that would interrupt what you're doing. You got a video playing right now.
Right now, because I'm not familiar with it. I'll watch a dozen videos.
Unlike you though, you know, it kills me until I remember every fucking detail and all that shit. It kills me that I don't remember the names and
that's why I don't want to go off the beaten path and start trying to guess at stuff.
Yes.
It has to do with it.
All right, what we got here on El Chapo?
El Chapo.
Number 4, El Chapo.
I'll just say.
August 15th, 2016, just before 1 a.m., a gang of 7 armed men barged into an upscale restaurant on the main street of Puerto Vallarta, a popular beach spot in Mexico. Inside this fancy restaurant, 2 rich Mexican brothers were having dinner with their friends, all jazzed up to celebrate one of their birthdays. They were sipping on champagne and the whole place was lit up with candles. But then out of nowhere, 6 heavily armed individuals with machine guns surrounded them. The gunman forced the brothers to their knees, disarmed them, and then took them out of the restaurant and shoved them into 2 waiting SUVs. The operation was brutal and quick, taking less than 2 minutes. The restaurant's owner would later describe it as violent but very clean. Those 2 brothers that had been kidnapped were none other than Jesus Alfredo Guzman and Ivan Archibaldo Guzman, the sons of the infamous El Chapo. Yeah, you heard that right. And you might be thinking,
all right. So, Joe, we are gangsters, bro. We are hardcore.
Oh, you got to have some big cojones, man, to go and fucking kidnap them
I'm
two
assuming
boys.
he was locked up at the time they tried that nonsense. I don't guess they did that when he was running the streets.
Like,
That would be
come
really
on,
ballsy.
man. I just said, you show up with his kids, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You crazy show my ass some goddamn trouble.
I'd be like, boys, everything's gonna be fine. I'm gonna call you daddy here.
Yeah, like matter of fact, you just take my phone, you take my car, you can go ahead and go and get. Bye.
Yeah, you good, bro. You good. Y'all just go. don't mention it. I mean, really, don't mention it. It's a gift.
Fucking crazy.
What kind of balls you got to have to roll up on El Chapo's kids? Think you gonna walk away with it? That's what I was getting at with Joe. Joe, me and you are hardcore gangsters. At what point in time do we look at each other and decide we're going to go kidnap El Chapo's kids?
Well, after he's locked up or dead.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember what was the other big guy? Alazar Zanzibar, whatever was his name.
Yeah.
Whatever that cat, when he died. Oh man, he gave his kid talk shit, for a day. Whoever killed my proper, what is his name? It's not coming to me. Elmazar. What's the big drug dealer's name? Somebody. Something like Salazar, Aldazar.
I was going to say Salazar.
How do we not?
Somebody, man, you're killing me with this shit.
Let me see if somebody in the chat.
Driving me fucking nuts, dude.
Wow, somebody in the chat. What was the guy's name? The big time drugs dealer, but they shot on top of the roof. Big cartel dude. But when it was over, his kid was like talking that tough guy shit, and man, he ended up apologizing within a week because those cartels moved in and wanted that shit, and he was not prepared. He was apologizing.
Yeah. Also, over there, they quite often get their fingers into some major politicians and stuff. So
I'm steady waiting for your damn chat or somebody to say
I'm still looking for the dude's name. I'm getting El Mencho, El Chapo.
Is it Alfredo?
He got shot by the CIA and the guys.
That's a totally different show, Joe.
No, hold on now. I got it.
You're good, brother.
Man, if they had a house made of candy, I'm fucked. Straight up. I'm fucked. That's all it would have took. The kidnappers could have got me any day of the week, all day long when I was a kid. All they had to do was roll up, hey, little girl, she was a candy. I'm gone.
Okay, now listen to this one and see how you feel about it. Would you like some candy, little girl?
Exactly. Get in the car.
And who would kidnap the sons of a guy whose name alone sends shivers down anyone's spine? Well, perhaps an even tougher man.
Pablo Escobar.
And took it.
That
Captured in Los Mochis, Sinaloa, after a fierce shootout with Mexican Marines. This was his 3rd arrest, and everyone believed the extradition to the U.S. was almost certain, making it highly unlikely for him to escape for a 3rd time. This kidnapping was seen as a major setback for the elder Guzman's attempts to maintain the Sinaloa cartel's dominance in the region from behind bars. The emerging rival, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, or CJNG, posed a significant challenge to his power. Sources later showed that the kidnapping incident served as a grand entrance for El Mencho, the leader of the ruthless CJNG. He wanted to send a clear message to the Sinaloa cartel and its associates.
Your king is now locked up, so don't think you're untouchable. It was also meant as a warning. Elemental was coming for the throne.
Hey, didn't I just tell you that once he gets locked up or killed, that's when the people who would come in and try to fuck with the kid? I said that.
Yeah, but man, nah, man.
You know, this is an issue I have. This motherfucker once got away. Okay, was it Escobar that escaped prison by having a helicopter land in the fucking courtyard? He just went out and got in the helicopter and left.
Probably was. I probably when he escaped from the prison he had built and paid for his own fucking prison with his strip club in it and all security, armed security, you know, what do you call that? A football, so and so soccer field in the back, and professional teams would come to the prison and play with him. Then they got out and they were told him that, you know, they were going to have to put him in a regular prison, and he somehow just vanished during the night and all that.
Did this motion, and a helicopter landed. He climbed. He just did that and left.
Come on with it. Let's go.
When this is what his downfall. If he got mad at a judge, he would blow the whole building up. If he got mad at so and so, he'd blow the whole plane up. That's where the people turned on him. You know, until then, you know, he had it. He was running for politics. He was so popular.
Right.
And then
is what a lot of people like in America don't realize is like crime is utterly rampant there. And so when you have a strong cartel boss that comes in, bitch slaps all the street thugs and says, stop fucking. And they do, you kind of pull your hands back for a second because that's an improvement above, you know,
it's just same mentality in my neighborhood. If you're going to be in the streets, you're going to join the gang just because of how violent shit is, and you automatically have your backup, and you know the gang in your territory. I mean, it's you can't afford not to because it kills all the static and shit. You got an instant backing. It's better than you know, being on your own, better than the alternative.
Not having existed in that framework, I have a question. You have a choice between these two people that are near the top of the same gang. The leader drops over. How do you determine who wins that particular discussion?
I think the only determining factor is where you lay your head. I mean, if that's one of them, because you can't live in ops territory. I mean, you got to pick where you live. So if you take that out, you know, and I live in a neutral territory, now it's who has to offer what, who has better.
I wasn't really asking you which side you come down on. I was asking how decision is made in the neighborhood. You've got two guys. One is a hardcore thug gangbanger that has no shits to give about nothing and is planning to die this weekend. The other one is this dude who's trying to make money, and he's kind of an asshole, but at the same time, nobody messes with kids, nobody messes with students, nobody messes with little old ladies.
Gangbanger wins. Gangbanger in my neighborhood wins over money. Money guy always gets a foothold and all of that shit. But people like me, thugs, don't respect the guy who didn't earn it. He paid his way. The other guy put work in. So they're tolerated. And in my opinion, they're overtaxed. You know, like you can get your stars and stripes in my neighborhood by putting in work, or you could put in extra money and you buy these positions, and suddenly you're a chief and you didn't earn it. You have the power and shit, but you know, in the end of that route, somebody's gonna hurt you and shit because they don't really respect you.
A massive amount of wisdom on me that I had not considered. I don't exist in that type of a framework, so I have no reference by which to judge it except for movies.
Yeah,
down to,
I gotta.
Yes,
I gotta experience some of that.
I had a friend. Go ahead, baby.
Yeah. No, you should date a girl who's.
He's gonna keep right on mumbling. She never stops.
No, the only chicks that I was ever actually in a relationship with, we acknowledged that we were in a relationship with one another, was a Hispanic chick that I dated right when I got out of high school, and my daughter was still like really little, and her family had ties to the Mexican cartel.
Right on. Please tell me y'all got good drugs behind that shit.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, my best weed connects and drug connects have been Mexicans, yo, all my
There's
fucking
like
life.
weed, man. Still, I mean, they know. Everybody knows that's where the weed comes from. Everybody knows that around here. That's where the weed comes from. Everybody knows.
One of my best weed connects was a black dude who pretended to be Jamaican. He was
That's smart though, right?
He totally freaking pretended to be Jamaican.
It's funny though. I mean, I bet some people think he gotta have that fire. Just listen to the way he talk. You know how them niggas smoke weed all the time. It's smart.
He was a full bomber clock.
All right, blah blah cut about this. This is
That's
some
actually
things I
not good.
had a buddy from the islands, a weed connect, and it was crazy. He had two different kinds of weed. One of them was vastly superior, but the other one was really good, but it looked vastly superior. And do you know, I couldn't sell them the shit that was better. They wanted the shit that looked better. It was really good. By the time I could sell the other shit, all that the lime green shit that looked good was gone before I could give them the good shit. And then they started talking about how good it was. I'm like, this is the same shit I was trying to sell you. I told you, all you motherfuckers like,
oh boy. All right, so they have taken this man's kids. What do you reckon is going to happen?
He's gonna fuck some people up, man. Some people gonna die.
I'm guessing
I don't give a fuck. People gonna die.
he got out of jail a lot, but I'm guessing his days are over. These guys are moving swiftly. His sons' lives are fucking even in danger. Even I don't think El Chapo comes back out of this the hero and sends his boys to save anybody.
Okay, let's see.
One of the largest criminal organizations in the country, and also one of the deadliest. Initially, this cartel had close ties with the Sinaloa cartel, but after Chapo's arrest, it began taking possession of some of the Sinaloa cartel's territories. Now, let's go back to the burning question. Was El Chapo just going to sit back and let his sons become collateral damage in this new turf war? Well, you can probably guess that answer. Even while locked up, El Chapo was ready to cause chaos and mayhem on the streets of Mexico. But fearing a full-blown war, El Mayo Zambada, a longtime ally of El Chapo and one of his few surviving veteran drug lords from the Sinaloa cartel, decided to step in. Rumor had it that he took charge of the negotiations that dragged on for a whole week. According to a source from the DEA, a leader of the CJ&G had initially planned to kidnap and kill the brothers. However, at the 11th hour, El Chapo's threats and El Mayo's relentless bargaining managed to secure their release. And what did it cost? A $2 million ransom and a whole lot of drugs. But El Chapo is a drug lord today willing to go to those extreme lengths.
Wait a minute. Don't try to make him sound like a fucking hero. El Chapo was gonna kick their ass. He's a villain. You know how tough he is. Really, what happened? He gave them $2 million and a bunch of drugs. You didn't do shit, man. You fucking
he didn't
paid.
even do that shit. The fucking DEA, our DEA, fucking went in their fucking drug closet and got out a couple kilos and $2 million and fucking threw it on the table and was like, "Give us his fucking kids back. So he'll shut the fuck up in here." That's exactly what happened. That's exactly.
You know, I didn't know that was an option. Pay the money and get your kid back. I was thinking blood and violence. I didn't know that was an option.
That's what I call thinking outside the box, bro.
Right, just give them the money. It's nothing to us, man. $2 million. Go ahead and give it to us.
This goes back to move your ice cream truck 2 blocks to the right. It's no different.
Oh, so who won? Who has to move that truck? I think the guys who he paid the money to, I think that was a show of force, and his giving the money was a sign of weakness. I think he's going to have to move his ice cream truck now. Chapo.
Consider it this way.
He's got to move his truck.
Prison. He flexed his finger and not only had you paid, but had you overpaid. Now turn loose my fucking kids before I get angry.
You still got to do something, though. The streets are watching. You can't get out of it without an action. At least I don't see how.
I don't either.
That's all people respect. That's all we respect.
these assholes. You are correct.
You can pay the money, but you still got to kill them after you get your kids. Man. You got to blow something up.
Me and you, we eye to eye type shit.
Right? It's a couple million. Give it to them. Once the kids are safe, as soon as they drop off, shoot all them niggas before they get out the neighborhood, bro. Kick it off. I got my kids back. Fuck that.
I'm going to have the military lined up on both sides of every road out this burg.
Yes, man. I'm totally killing everybody. They be like Joe. They were like janitors, low level players. I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to start a war. Fuck it.
They could be using night vision and EBRs.
Right, you know, trackers throwing Apple AirTags at the back of motherfuckers' coats and shit. Yes, so
your sister, your brother,
right? Gonna be having all sorts of tags in the tires and shit. Motherfucker, we should follow you. Yeah, he got the resources, right? I mean, he can follow your fucking everybody in your fucking family till one of them had to go by your house.
That's right. Just wait. Let's see what he do.
To avenge the kidnapping of his children. Number 3, Manuel Torres Felix. Manuel Fidel Torres Felix, also known as LM1, was a notorious Mexican drug lord and a high-ranking leader of the Sinaloa cartel. When his son was killed by rival gang members of the Beltran Leyva cartel, Torres Felix completely lost his mind and went on this violent rampage that spared no one. In the 1990s, Felix initially joined forces with the Sinaloa cartel. As fate would have it, he rose through those ranks and eventually would ascend to the apex of the cartel after his brother, Javier Torres Felix, was arrested in 2004. Under the guidance of Ismael Zambada Garcia, he began to work with Ovidio Guzman Lopez, the son of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, Mexico's former most wanted man, and he oversaw drug trafficking shipments coming out of South America into Mexico under the guidance of Ismael El Mayo Zambada. Now, during his reign, LM1 was caught up in a fierce rivalry with the Beltran Leyva organization. It's worth noting that the Sinaloa cartel and the BLO were once allies, operating out of the same small state of Sinaloa. However, in 2008, the BLO broke away from this alliance, driven by one powerful force: greed. Both cartels wanted supreme dominance, and there was no other way than for one of them to go down. This rivalry eventually led to the most defining moment for LM1, causing his entire world to crumble and pushing him to the brink of madness. April 18th, 2008, just outside the health ministry in the Montebello residential district of Culiacan, a group...
Wait a second. $2008? No.
Oh, I don't know. I was in my head. I barely even know what's going on there. Oh, COVID-19.
I'm just saying that picture's definitely not from 2008.
Right.
Wait a minute.
I'm just saying.
How's it number 6?
And it's not just COVID. It's COVID-19. You know, a lot of people be like, COVID been around, but not COVID-19. But this says COVID-19 in particular.
This is an editor error. I've done this myself by accident, used a wrong period photo just because.
Yes, this makes sense.
Yeah,
the 2020 photo being used in reference to a 2008 event, and it just registered in my autism, and I went, well, that's not right.
I'm still fucked up on the fact that it says number 6.
Yeah, it's just the location.
Don't even. No.
It's a vaccination site 6.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
The Bayo residential district, Culiacan, a group of sicarios working for the BLO ambushed LM1's 20-year-old son, Torres Acosta. Torres was ambushed along with his sister,
Sicarios are dangerous.
LM1's sister-in-law, Rivas Heredia. The sicarios attempted to kidnap Torres Acosta, but he bravely resisted, prompting him to brutally shoot and kill him on the spot. The shots fired also injured his little sister, hitting her in the arm and shoulder, while his sister-in-law was wounded in her left leg. This incident flipped a switch in LM1's head. He went crazy and was out for revenge. A few days after the loss of his son,
He
LM1
paid them $2 million.
Orlo said it.
He went crazy. This made him go super crazy. You know what he did? He paid them $2 million and gave them drugs. All right, let me show.
That just verifies the business venture that we're discussing here. That it's nothing personal, and there's absolutely nothing here that has to do with like, I hate you. That's not it.
Yes. He better come back and shoot somebody. I better see some blood. I'm gonna start thinking you gangsters are really CEOs and businessmen. Somebody better shoot somebody, damn it. Right?
All right, let's get it going before we lose Joe.
It was at this moment that LM1's true psychotic nature emerged. He subjected each man to unimaginable torture before coldly ending their lives.
What the fuck we're talking about?
That's what I was picturing.
The municipal police commander, Roberto Carlos Barcelo Villagran. LM1 had his back sliced to ribbons with knives, his legs cut off, and then beheaded while he was still alive. His body was then dumped with 2 others in the trunk of a car.
Feel better now, Joe?
I'm shit. They might have went overboard. Are they telling me the guy who got mad and did all this violence had violence done to him too and ended up dead with his legs cut off?
Dude, something definitely went too far.
It got really violent. Shit. Yeah, really violent.
All his sicarios took the bodies of other victims and dumped them all around Culiacan. I might say an eye for an eye was enough.
Hold up. They killed that bitch and then some other motherfuckers just to make it more difficult to sort out all this mess.
That's what I'm trying to see.
God damn. Oh my Lord. They killed her and the people in the local neighborhood that had nothing to do with her.
Motherfuckers out there that went out fucking around. Fuck that.
Oh my God. No.
Gang, motherfucker.
Right, gang, right.
Gang.
I don't give a fuck.
My God, son. Oh, wow.
Maybe even 5 deaths would be enough to satisfy LM1's thirst for revenge. Well, it wasn't. In fact, for every man he killed, he became more emotionally unstable.
Damn.
Time would go on. This war between the BLO and the Sinaloa cartel would spiral out of control. The situation was getting worse with each passing day. LM1 earned himself the nickname El Ondeado, which means the crazy one, by torturing these men. He didn't stop at just a few. He would torture and kill over 30 different BLO sicarios and ordered the killing of hundreds more. But despite his violent tendencies, LM1 was a cunning mastermind. He knew he was a wanted man, so he never left his hometown.
He was a cunning linguist. Very desirable to all the women.
Right.
He also made sure that the BLO sicarios he killed were brought to his personal ranch. Now, during his killing spree, he even collaborated with El Mayo to control some of the Sinaloa cartel's affairs. However, the city of Culiacan began to resemble a scene out of a horror movie. The streets were stained with blood and dead bodies could be found on almost every corner. In response, the Mexican government would deploy 2,000 troops to the city in an attempt to quell the violence. And eventually, they caught up with LM1. October 13th, 2012, Torres Felix was killed in a gun battle in the community of Oso Viejo in Culiacan, Sinaloa, finally putting an end to his reign of terror. Now, LM1 might have gone crazy after his son's murder, ensuring that no one was spared. This next person would make the same choice, but the distinction is that she was an ordinary person seeking justice, not vengeance.
I remember her. Give me a second.
Yeah, she's the one. Like, they made a movie about it. There's like 2 or 3 movies that's been made about her story where she just cashes in her whole fucking life, turns around and becomes a vigilante. Full stop.
I mean, shit.
She was like some random mother who goes, "Oh, so you're gonna fuck with my cubs, huh?" And she turned around, took some self-defense classes, some gun classes, some weapons classes, and more self-defense classes, and she went out and hung a foot right off in these motherfuckers' asses. It's actually quite an inspiring tale.
Yeah.
Evil and demented, but not
No.
necessarily incorrect.
No, I don't see it that way.
All right. But we'll get there.
Yeah.
Number 2, Miriam Rodriguez. Miss Rodriguez was consumed by one thing until the end of her life: justice. Her daughter Karen, just 20 years old, was abducted and killed by a Mexican cartel. The tragic events fueled Rodriguez's determination to hunt down every single one of her daughter's kidnappers. In her relentless pursuit of justice, Rodriguez went to great lengths. She changed her appearance, staked out the homes of these members, and spent countless hours digging through social media for any possible leads. Armed with a pistol, she often took matters into her own hands, chasing down her daughter's kidnappers on foot until the police arrived. But where did it all begin? January 23rd.
She didn't kill nobody, making it look like she shot them herself. So my understanding, that's not what happened. No.
All right, so this particular version of the tale only discusses the ones that she managed to arrest and doesn't
right. I never heard
fucking church by like crucified. It doesn't.
Yeah, right.
It was on fire with a fucking tire around his neck.
Right, you're right. They don't right. If she popped some people and set them on fire, I haven't heard those tales.
Oh, that she did, but we do know they were involved in that kidnapping.
Okay, all right.
Motherfuckers is in jail.
All right.
So that's all I'm saying on that one. You know?
Okay.
Changed everything for Miriam Elizabeth Rodriguez Martinez. While her daughter, Karen Alejandra Salinas Rodriguez, was driving through San Fernando, 2 trucks suddenly pulled up beside her. Then armed men forcefully entered her car and quickly drove away with her. Rodriguez and her family spent the following weeks desperately trying to bring Karen back home. They soon discovered that she had been taken by members of the notorious Zetas cartel, known for their ruthless kidnappings to fund their criminal operations. Karen's loved ones followed the cartel's instructions, hoping for her safe return. Bombarded with a barrage of phone calls, threats, and demands, they would take out a loan to pay Karen's ransom, leaving a bag of money at a designated drop-off point. However, their efforts were in vain, as Karen remained missing. With no other options left, Miriam made a daring move. She requested a meeting with a cartel member, and to her surprise, one agreed. Although he claimed he didn't know.
Smith is like, fake news, never happened. Allegedly. Oh, those were completely natural causes, right? Because if you fuck with my kid, shit like that might happen to you.
It's natural causes, right?
Natural causes. Naturally, if I hang a 20-inch fucking tire around your neck, you're probably not going to survive it. Woo!
Karen's whereabouts, he offered to assist in the search for a fee of $2,000. Rodriguez paid that amount, but unfortunately, it led nowhere. She would learn one thing, though. The person behind her daughter's abduction was named Sama. Armed with this crucial information, Rodriguez stumbled upon her first clue. She confided in her surviving daughter, expressing her belief that Karen had already been killed. However, she vowed to stop at nothing until she had tracked down the heartless individuals responsible. With meticulous deductive skills, Miriam began piecing together the puzzle surrounding her daughter's kidnappers. After finding Sama's account on Facebook, she managed to identify one of his acquaintances through their distinctive ice cream shop uniform. She would wait outside the store for hours until Sama finally showed up, and then she discreetly trailed him. Rodriguez managed to uncover Sama's place of residence, but she still required more information. In order to navigate his neighborhood undetected, she resorted to dyeing her hair red, donning this old uniform, and engaging with his neighbors under the pretense of conducting a harmless poll. Not only that, but
who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow.
I remember that. The shadow.
That bitch went full shadow, dude. She went full Metal Gear Solid. Like, she had the
She had put on a uniform. Yeah. Undercover Mission Impossible shit. Yeah.
They didn't fucking know.
See,
You're gonna get
I
that song.
have this feeling that if you try to do some shit like that in real life and in your head you start hearing the Mission Impossible theme, you've already fucked up.
Through
the vent. We've already fucked up. I
But
just
she ain't bullshit. See that change the hair color, put on like a uniform
Oh
or something.
God.
Tell them motherfuckers, yeah, I'm doing a poll here in the neighborhood. Befriend that motherfucker. She's active. She's getting active.
in the past 6 months. And what is the ransom you're asking for? Hi. Have you heard the good news?
Right.
Can I talk to you about this?
Wait a second. I just had a thought. If you assume that everyone kidnapped has to be in a room somewhere, in a house somewhere,
yeah,
why don't we just like put cameras on all the Jehovah's Witness and we'll find it. We could tag them like dogs, you know, like put the GoPro on their head so we can see everywhere they're going, just in case they happen to find some. That's probably not.
Listen, check this out. Even in my neighborhoods, Jehovah's Witnesses are some of the most fearless fucks in the world, right? We don't even have we don't even have trick or treat and shit like that because it's too violent. But the Jehovah's Witnesses be out there. But I found their kryptonite, what drives them away.
What?
Talking to me about religion apparently is like kryptonite. They don't want to come around.
They go up there
And I sold drugs outdoors. They had to go on the other side of the street. They had to avoid my block because I would talk their fucking ear off. But that's not logical. If so and so, why would you think it literally means they weren't prepared to answer their questions? Yeah, they got unfriendly, and that would keep them away. Yeah,
this is absolutely ridiculous. I had a buddy named Tyler. He worked for the for like Dish Network. He was installing a dish out at my house one afternoon when the Jehovah's Witnesses showed up. They showed up and come over and start talking to him, thinking that he lives there and he knows me. We're old friends, and so he's going to take the bullet on this one. And he just told him that he lived there, and he was just He gets into a conversation about religion and convinces these crackers, convinces these people that he worshipped Apollo.
Oh, that sounds funny.
Dude, I sat on that porch and laughed by an hour and a half.
Funny, right?
People tried to convert him from the worship of Apollo.
They're not
across the sky in his chariot.
What do they do? I'm assuming that breaks their brain.
Okay.
None of them are very critical thinkers, or they probably wouldn't be out there doing that stuff. So someone comes up with talking Apollo or alternate dimensions and shit. They're not prepared. They're fucking ain't like 86 years old, man. Fucking you talking about?
Okay. So let's flash back to a young Sasquatch at his house one afternoon. A Jehovah's Witness show up on the front door, pulling in the driveway. And I didn't know what they were, but my brother did. And he goes, "Holy shit, is that Jehovah's Witness?" I said, "Oh no, what's a Jehovah's Witness?" She said, "Dude." And he ran off to the bedroom. And I went, "Black people?" I just didn't understand what was taking.
Oh, fuck.
A few seconds. Out with you remember the old Georgia flag used to have the bar on one side and the Confederate flag on the other. He folded the bar back, pegged it to the freaking wall, opened up the door, pulled off his shirt, and started pulling his gun apart on the couch right in front of him. And they walked up, like, "How are you gentlemen doing?" And I'm sitting there playing like freaking Super Mario. I'm like really weirded out by what just took place because I don't know what's going on. These folks came up to the door, looked at my brother, and decided they would come in and talk to him.
Wow, I told you they're brave, bro.
They're fearless as fuck, man.
Yeah.
They really are.
Absolute faith, unshakable. Those people that wake up that fucking serpent.
Absolute unshakable faith.
You have to be one of those people who will pass around snakes. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Sir.
That shit takes courage, man. I know
I don't know, man.
I think you get points later on. If you did that and you've been spent your time in South Central or Baltimore in the name of the God, even if you got it wrong, he gonna bring you up there just to say, I like your style and your hustle, man. You gave it a shot.
Give you that forever, man.
Going to be the medal because you're the last one to go to hell.
Right? You know, you get a
Like,
little trophy at least, right?
yeah, you ain't going to heaven, but listen.
You're right. You know,
prize.
we got a consolation prize, though. Yeah.
Have a nice drink of water.
You gotta need it, right? All right, let's see what you got, Sasquatch. Where we at? I forgot.
Ignored by authorities for too long, Rodriguez finally found an ally within the federal police who was willing to help her. Later, when interviewed, the police commander said,
"When she pulled her files onto the table, I had never seen anything like it. The details and information gathered by this woman working all alone were incredible."
Although initially some amended.
This is coming from a police detective.
Right, and he's not saying she did a good job. He's like, I couldn't believe it. It was incredible.
This one. Can you do this one?
Let's see what you're doing. Okay.
Yep. Come on, give me some gang signs.
I'm about to say, is that a gang sign that you're doing?
I want something. I won't prove that I'm looking at a real man. Like, do the curly.
You talking to me?
No, I'm talking to Daily Dan, who just came in backstage, and I don't know if it's.
Okay.
Right there. All right, bro. All
right. Dan.
Carolina. How's everybody tonight?
What's going on?
Wait a minute, hold on. I gotta say this. Long time viewer, first time caller.
Yeah, no.
What's in your background there, Dan? I'm sorry, Sasquatch. What's in your background there? I got it zoomed in, but I can't really tell.
A lot of rare comic books.
Okay, I see.
Cool.
Vincent, what's his name? I saw Creep Show. What is the dude name right there? I can't think of it.
Night Stalker.
Vincent Ross.
You got Night Stalker up there, Colsack?
Yeah. Colsack.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see it.
Go to his channel, and he goes through all of these comics like a panel at a time, and doesn't read the comic, but tells the story from what the pictures say.
That's what you need to do, because if you try to read that story, it ain't gonna make no sense at all.
But that doesn't make no sense.
Honestly, I look for the worst.
I once sat one night. I can't remember what it was. He did it live. He was going to do something else, and it didn't work. And he ended up doing this comic book live. He just grabbed it, opened it up on the bed, and started talking about what was happening. It was the first time I'd ever seen one of these videos, and I was high as a fruit, man. I was on about 5 shots. I was glowing.
Oh my God, what was that, like 5 years ago?
Dude, I got to giggling. And then I got to cry, and I was laughing so hard because it had nothing. I've read that comic. It has nothing. The story you told had nothing to do with the comic. And I was crying.
When you're doing a comic book, it really depends on your 420 state of mind.
Right. Oh, yes, sir. No, what you do, you're not going to be able to watch a whole lot of it unless you're going to be at least expanding your horizons on some level.
I'm glad somebody actually gets it, because quite a few people don't.
Yeah, I imagine so.
You should read some of the little email things I get. Oh my God.
You can't imagine.
Especially whenever I crack on Marvel comic books, boy. It's like I get a swarm of people descending upon me like locusts.
I would be one of them. I was Marvel more than DC, Fuck DC, man.
I love Marvel, and I love DC, and I love superheroes. And their comic books are great, and Stan Lee was the master. But I can't really make fun of them comic books because they're really good. I need something to make fun of,
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm going to take a shot. So we're going to do it this way. Ladies and gentlemen, here's to you and here's to me, and may we never disagree. But if we do, to hell with you. Here's to me.
Do we fuck now?
If you wish. I might even have a condom. You don't want one of those, do you?
Not from you, big boy, but other people. Yes, Dan. Oh, Dan, I think your name. Yes.
Hold
You're
on.
totally gonna have to use a condom.
Hold on. I'm ready.
So, that's it.
Quit you is hard.
Yeah, I gotta be. You don't even try hard. I'm too easy. You don't even try hard no more.
It's okay, baby. I'll get you a burrito.
That was a time we used to want me. But anyway,
actually, you know that Caucasian Sasquatch. We were on a couple of times together on Moggs's show and talked.
Yep.
I don't know if you remember that or not. Over the years.
Yes, sir.
I love Moggs over there.
Moggs. All right. So he didn't realize who I was when he came on my show, and after he came on the show, he looked at me. He said, "Hold on, you host those First Amendment auditor people, don't you?" I said, "Yes, sir. You try to find somebody willing to talk to a camera more." And he sat there, blinked at me for a second, and went, all right, that makes sense. And I said, also, First Amendment's absolute. And I will discuss amending the First Amendment under one condition. You have to show me on this doll where the bad words hurt you.
Yeah.
Then we can talk about it.
I heard a motherfucker today, Sasquatch. It might have been Paul. Yeah, it was Paul and Slave. He say, what's not a wrongdoing is a right. What's not a wrongdoing is a right. And I've been trying to define rights over there with Guru, what a right is for the longest. And he's like, what's not a wrongdoing is a right. You have an absolute right to it as long as it's not a wrongdoing.
Okay. All right. So I'll look at it from a slightly different perspective, and maybe I'm wrong. But this is
go ahead.
Let's say me and you, we go out in a canoe and we row out in the middle of fucking nowhere in the swamp to an island, and we're camping. And then something happens that threatens you and involves a third party, and I crack whip in their ass. I split their leg.
Yeah.
The only people who know what happened is me and you.
Mm-hmm.
When we get back to civilization, we either tell them what happened or we don't.
Yeah.
Right is whatever you can do when you're on the side of that river by yourself with no civilization to help you, and there's witnesses.
Wait. A right
Protect yourself
is when there is witnesses?
Yes. Because when there's no witnesses, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. Okay. But there are witnesses, you have the right to do certain things.
But that's what we were trying to define. I think what Guru would agree with you. A right is what you can take. Guru is down there.
What
I think
my opinion of anarchist, right?
Your opinion of anarchist?
My opinion of anarchist. I love anarchist.
No chance. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
I am not an anarchist because anarchists are going to occupy my military. Because
wait, what is an anarchist first? We might define. I thought it was just a guy who didn't like rules or something.
Exactly. They don't like rules, and they're loners, and they generally don't agree with each other. And so they're always alone or in very small groups. And so me and my military will show up, beat the living shit out of them, and they're the new conscripts in my army to take over the world.
They're not very motivated then, probably, if they were anarchists, right?
All I say is you're alone in the world or you're with us. And if you're not with us,
you sound like a Christian to me. Man.
I think everyone should do what I say, but if we're not going to do that, we're going to have to start voting.
Sound like the Christians. Everybody got to do what I say, or you go to hell.
No, what I'm saying is, if we're not going to do what I say, we should vote. I'm definitely getting a vote. We're not doing
what I think. I'm just going to say whatever he's saying and make it sound even better. So just
what's that, Dan? Oh, you're good.
I don't smoke in the house, and I wanted a cigar.
Well, you go right on ahead there, brother. You step on right outside. We'll be right here when you get back, man.
I brought you with me, brother. It's a laptop. It's mobile. You can go anywhere with this mother.
Oh yeah. Did you know that Leonardo DiCaprio's first movie was Critters 3?
I did not know that.
He played a kid that was not the main protagonist of the film, but the main protagonist's friend, and he helps her figure out what's going on and how to survive the critters.
You know, I was a big fan of Critters. Wait, I might be thinking of something else. Was Critters the one with the things that travel underground?
No.
Tremors. That's Tremors that I'm thinking. Critter was the little creatures.
The little hurt ball.
Let it roll up in a ball and stuff.
All right. Yeah, I might have been tuned out by number 3.
We won't give you a bum steer. That's Critters.
Yeah, I might have zoned out by the time they made a third one. You know, the first one, a couple.
No, but go back and watch Critters 3 and check out his performance in that role. And you can see the bolts and gears of what makes an absolute star. Even then, he captured the whole camera on every single event.
Him and What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Yes, right. That he had to show some depth and on that shit, right?
That man was playing opposite Johnny Depp.
Yeah. Where's Onion Gilbert? Like, oh my God.
All right, honey, don't do that. That will get clipped, and I will enjoy it. I will not apologize.
I would totally deserve that.
And then sometime right after that, he did, I think, Basketball Diaries was around that time.
That is one of my favorite DiCaprio movies ever made. A lot
Killed
of people do it, but dude, if you've ever been locked in the grips of a hardcore drug addiction where you're hustling to feed that fucking grind,
The Beach. Yeah. The Beach is a good one.
Yeah, been there.
Blood Diamond was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good.
I didn't like it, but it was good movie. I watched it the other day.
Well, we just Django, his character in Django. Really like that dude, bro.
That's Tarantino though, dude. You'd be hard pressed to point out a particular character in a Tarantino film you don't like.
That sucks, right? Yeah.
Character in Django.
Even the old race.
Well, there was that pawn shop owner. I wasn't real fond of him.
You're talking about
that's
a different.
He's right though. It is a Tarantino film.
You said pick one.
He's talking about Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
I like Reservoir Dogs. It's probably
All
my favorite.
Tarantino. Anything Tarantino. Anything.
I agreed, but my favorite Tarantino film is probably Reservoir Dogs.
I would think I gotta go Pulp Fiction, bro.
Pulp Fiction is hardcore as hell, but when you go back and look at the number of angles that Reservoir Dogs plot runs through, and you watch it 5 times, and every time you watch it in a row, and spot shit that you missed the first 25 times you watched it.
I go for that, and that would have been my favorite until Pulp Fiction came along.
All right,
the performances were iconic. Bruce Willis with the girl. Who's Zed? Zed's dead, baby. The shit in the basement. And these is Bruce Willis and these Vin Rames and
Big Rames
fucking the comeback of John Travolta. Remember, he was dog shit till he made this movie, and now he was suddenly remembered as the $5 milkshake Royale with cheese. He got famous again in this movie.
Yes, sir. HPR News, what's up, brother?
HPR, that's the man. I miss you, HPR.
Everybody else calls him HRP.
I know Jeff started that shit, right?
Me with that shit. What you doing?
He had me doing that shit.
Cooking cookies. I'm eating a loaf of bread.
Hey, Sasquatch. Fucking HPR. He never speaks and all that shit. When he do, he hops up drunk for 5 seconds. And this is 5 years ago, and drop a jewel and then hop back off, right? But I got to go with his crib. I might have spent a week or two over there. We had a ball. Man, absolutely, easily one of the most brilliant fucks you'll ever see. Can talk about any subject, in depth. Oh my God, Joe, brilliance, and sharing it with nobody.
I can discuss most things for a few minutes, right? If you want an in-depth discussion, I would like to have a heads up so I can actually verify dates, times, names, stuff like that.
Not only do he know all of that shit or so and so, but what's more interesting, he'll know what you're talking about. He'll be familiar with the experiment or whatever it is, and he'll have a philosophical opinion on it, right? On where it's going to go, what's it going to cause, which interests me even more than just oh my God. You know, I could theorize with that motherfucker. We could talk about some quantum mechanics shit, and he'll grasp it all. And then we could theorize off of that shit, hypothesize about what could become. If you do believe in Hawkins radiation, what could become? What might occur? Oh, man, that nigga.
HVR, please.
Depending on the time of day, I do good to remember my birthday.
Right? What I had for breakfast, right?
I think HVR was robbed.
I ain't gonna bullshit you. This woman is as smart as any dude. And I know that's for chauvinist shit to say, but, you know, she'll crush any dude.
That's cool. It's
I
not.
think he would have did way better with that.
It's not.
I keep thinking this is Andy Griffith. Every time I see that, I keep thinking that's Andy Griffith for some reason.
No, I stuck it up here just in case HPR was an HPR.
Oh, and that looked like I don't know, Don Knox or something. I don't know if you don't. I want a small phone.
Okay, I just don't. I haven't met you.
Are you telling me HPR hopped his ass up here?
I don't know how you did it, but you did it. Congratulations.
Hey, so he does good work. I don't know if y'all know he's a auditor too, man. He does good work, bro.
Hell, I had to jump up here. Joe Cool was kissing my ass so much that my head inflated a little bit.
I heard that suction. He was getting all that good.
I forgot the part about him being a troll. I forgot about that part.
Hey, Joe, is the check still in the mail, or what's going on with that? I'm just wondering.
Checks in the mail, man, and
Still in the mail. All right.
And I'm gonna send that coat back that I borrowed too. I'm gonna send that back too.
Thanks for letting me up, Caucasian. I figured you needed another Caucasian up here dealing with Joe. You know what I'm saying?
I'm good with Joe. Joe can come at me as hard as he wants.
What the hell am I?
Right, what the hell am I, chopped liver?
You didn't see Dan over there hiding in the corner, do you? He's
hello.
We got out number 4. Shit he could do about it. In fact,
you
Joe,
know,
other
white
friend.
folks need those type of numbers, you know. Anyway, before y'all courage up, y'all got to do the mob mentality thing.
We gotta have this whole mob to come out of our caves and invent lights. I mean, right.
I
don't know.
That's a damn shame. We brought y'all out of the cave and y'all killed us. Y'all come over here to America. The Indians helped y'all and y'all killed them. And damn it, you're not going to stop till you're on the top. Brutal, bro. Brutal.
Check so far.
By the way, I can't talk about anything from a philosophical standpoint anymore because I haven't had any alcohol to drink in like 3 or 4 months now. So
is that true, bro?
That's true. That is true.
I haven't had none this week.
Well, alcohol was never my choice chemical. So, like, I rarely drink anyway. So, you know.
I'm with you, man. I usually drink if an auditor comes to town or I'm out of town with an auditor. If they like bars. Other than that, I can go years without drinking, man. I can do with or without.
I met Harry Nuts a couple weeks ago, and first thing is let's go to a restaurant and we'll sit and watch the sunset and have a meal. And I was like, I don't eat in public.
And that's gay.
Broke his whole policy. He was just like, I said, first of all, I have a house that's on the beach. facing the sunset. So if you want to eat and watch the sunset, come by.
Did you say you don't eat in public? Is that what you said?
I don't eat in public.
He's gay.
Okay. I also don't have sex in public, usually.
Okay, you gotta explain to me, man. I don't know if I've ever heard of anyone who doesn't eat in public, and I'm sure they have a name for it.
I get to go plates and eat at home in front of the TV. I'm not going to eat in a restaurant full of people.
Okay, all right.
You know, who knows what
sounds like
in there.
it sounds like Sasquatch is saying he has an aversion to it, and you're saying you just choose not to.
I have a reason not to. I have had reconstruction done on this part of my face, and in order to eat, I take stuff out of my head to eat.
Right.
Rob don't want to see me take my face apart and put it down on the table.
right. Well, yeah, but you got a reason.
I'm like that guy on the Big Bang Theory. I'm kind of a germaphobe, and I'd rather be in the woods by myself looking for Bigfoot than around any amount of people whatsoever.
All right. Yeah. Speaking of Bigfoot, let's take it there. And Sasquatch, obviously, you cannot answer first. Anyone else on the panel? Is there any chance that Bigfoot is real?
Yeah.
I guarantee you 110% Bigfoot is real.
Yeah.
I have seen one, and once you see one, it changes your whole life, dude. It will mess you up forever.
Wait, did you say you saw one?
Yeah. Actually, I've seen Bigfoot creatures twice in my life, but it was like 45 years apart. It wasn't like the same weekend or no shit, you know?
Joe,
go ahead, Sasquatch.
I want you to subscribe to his channel. Which one is it? The one that's of the stuff behind your house?
The Daily Dan blog.
I think that's the one. Daily Dan blog.
Daily Dan.
I'm gonna go get the link. I'll drop it in private over here.
Yeah.
You go check it out and you tell me if you believe in Bigfoot, because he has crawled all over them mountains out there, and what?
You should do
Daily Dan, what? Pull up a clip. Fuck that. Pull up a clip. Damn it.
I used to do investigation.
Daily Dan, I'm not gonna bullshit you. I'm gonna get on his ass, Daily Dan. You get to see the other side of Joe for a minute. This is immediately when you say I've seen Bigfoot fucking twice. Once is a stretch, right? Twice.
Well, like I said,
I'm gonna start asking.
Take note, dude. I'm a paranormal investigator, and I investigate all kind of shit. And
very good. If you're a professional, then I'm sure there's accompanying video footage.
Yeah.
Okay. And Sasquatch is pulling that up now.
There was no footage of nothing when I was 11 years old, because the only cameras you had.
All right, I'll give you that. Okay.
You know,
I'll give you that.
When I saw Bigfoot, I was like 11 years old, man.
Tell me about that. Tell me about that one. Tell me about that.
Well, my mom was a photographer. She took pictures for a living. You can find some of her pictures in Life magazine and other magazines of that. A lot of wrestling magazines. She did a lot of wrestling work in the 70s and 80s.
Okay.
But because my mom was a photographer, I wanted to be a photographer too. So I would go on nature hikes and take pictures of stupid animals like birds and squirrels and rabbits and deers and stuff like that. Because I live in South Carolina, and it's really boring, and there's not much to do when you live in the woods.
It's beautiful out there, though. It's beautiful.
So one day I'm out taking pictures of the rabbits and the squirrels and the deers, and I'm going down this little dry creek bed, and I heard a noise that sounded something like brrr. And I was like, what the? The first thing that popped in my mind, man, because I'm from South Carolina and I'm a country boy, oh God, there's a bear out here.
Yeah.
How could that be a bear? I'm within a mile and a half of a town, but there ain't nothing else around but woods other than that little town, right? Yeah. So I was thinking, I'm not far enough out from the town for there to be no bears this close. And I keep hearing this growly sound. And as I looked up on the hill, it was about 60 yards away from me, standing about 45-degree angle to me, looking down on this little ridge line above me, was what I can only call, and at 100%, I want you to grasp this, for an 11-year-old kid, I was looking at a fucking monster, man. It scared me so bad, dude. I wet my freaking self.
Oh, wow.
And I'm not gonna lie about it. I was 11 years old. I turned around and ran like a little scared bitch. I ran all the way out, nonstop.
Yeah.
You know?
Sasquatch, did you find that footage of his Bigfoot sighting, the recent one?
The one that I want to show specifically.
I've got lots of videos of things that might be Bigfoot. I'm not going to say 100% because I can't say 100% every video I got's a real Bigfoot. There's stuff in my
just the
videos that are
second
weird.
time. The
And a
second
lot
time
of them,
was
I'll say,
45 years apart. You're a serious investigator. If you saw it since you've been an investigator, I'm sure you have footage of it.
Yeah, I wished I did. I've got
Hey, man. Hey, man.
5 minutes before and 10 minutes after and wood knots and everything else.
All right. All right, let's see what he got,
on
Sasquatch.
video. No. Try to catch Bigfoot on video one time, would you? But I did see another one walk through the woods real quickly.
I want to know, do you
In
have
like 20
Dan, do you have a particular video that
Yeah.
you'd like?
Well, just go over his channel and hit popular and see what we
Well, I
got.
wasn't planning on coming here to talk about Bigfoot and blah
All right.
blah blah. But if you go to the Daily Dan blog and you go to the community tabs, I'm pretty sure I recently shared some videos. Somewhere there's a playlist, but I don't know which channel it's on. Give me a minute.
Dan, what do you think Bigfoot is? Where does he come from?
You know, I'll be honest with you, man. I've always been under the belief that a Bigfoot was just an animal, you know, like a gorilla or any other animal in the woods that we just can't catch because it's elusive. But now, in light of other things that's coming to fact now, I'm not so sure. We may be dealing with something very weird. If you saw latest, check out the latest Fade to Black. And it's just called there's a Bigfoot one about 3 days ago that will blow your mind.
I'm getting really high. I think my time on here is limited.
You can't even hide a pot plant in the woods, much less a 9-foot warm-blooded mammal. But I did spot a Bigfoot earlier. He let me up on the panel. I appreciate that, Caucasian.
I have a Bigfoot story that I call a hobo in a fur coat story because it doesn't match any Bigfoot story I've ever heard because it's not a Bigfoot story. Right. What I
I'm going to interrupt because I got to drop, but I appreciate you letting me up here. It's so good to see you again, Joe, and meet you other two people. Y'all are awesome.
All right, HPI, you be easy, pal.
I am looking, by the way. Where is it? Must be on the blog.
I was
He has
shooting at
this
Steven
video.
Bassett on there the other day. Oh, that's awesome.
I was on a Mog's channel, I don't know, about a year ago. And I can't remember the name of the video, but he's got this one video where they're, and I can't explain what it is that I'm seeing because I wasn't there making the video. But for all the fucking world, there seems to be a pair of eyes out there blinking at the motherfucker. And he's
it could be a cat.
I guess he could be a cat in a tree, but I mean,
yeah.
Dan, how tall are you?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm 6'4".
Okay, he's a big boy. He ain't no little dude.
Come in now.
Okay, but I could have been any number of things.
Could have been anything. Why we're on Bigfoot?
I'm not assuming anything. I'm saying it is
Okay.
an especially creepy video that when the people all right, depending on what group of people you show it to, they all see different things.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That makes sense though if you think about it.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. Made me think about. I forget whether it was a red or white dress and red or blue, and everybody saw a different color, either gold or white or whatever.
Right.
Everybody depend on who you were, what color you saw.
Okay. Okay, Cajun. I just now posted on one of them little community tab things a really interesting little video.
Is that the unearthly encounters of? No, that one was
It's the
12.
first one I have to find real quick, but I got
You said
one.
that was 12 hours?
Yeah, no. When you post, all right, ladies and gentlemen, listen up. When you're using your community tab, it takes time for it to function. So sharing a live stream on your community tab when you go live will work, but you have to be live for 2 or 3 hours for that effect to really take place. Right? Because when you first set out your community tab and you post it, you do your little thing, you post the tab, it's there. It goes out to a handful of your subscribers. If people click on it, more of them go out. If people interact with it, even more of them go out. But over time, more of them go out anyway. So let's say hypothetically you have 10,000 subscribers, right? In the first 5 minutes of posting it, it goes out to 5% of your subscriber base. 20 minutes later, it goes out to another 5 or 10%, depending on how much.
I didn't know that.
There is a weird lull to it. If you go back and you look at your interaction, if you share something right before you go live, you'll have your normal live activity take place, but 20 or 30 minutes in, you'll suddenly get a boost of a few people that don't usually show up for the lives that do interact with your community post. That took 2 years to figure out.
Yeah, now the thing you're trying to figure out is how the shorts interact with your long form videos. That's it's a mystery.
A lot of shorts. In fact, I would say that my channel is a shorts channel. That lot.
And people will love your shorts and be like, and don't even watch your fucking long form. They'll be asking a million questions. You'd be like, you realize that comes from a video on my channel and it's linked in the short. But that's why I know you don't watch my channel, because you're curious about where can I find this?
Okay, so if you are willing to take the time, like stop uploading for 2 or 3 days straight, make 3 shorts a day, and then schedule these shorts for 1 upload a day. Go to your studio information and find out when all of your people are actually online looking at your content and upload it at that time. That's when your short uploads is at that time, whatever time that is.
Yeah, that's a lot more than I'm ever going to go through.
Okay. Some people are willing, some people are not. I'm just telling you what I've tried and what has worked. I have been told sometimes that, and I quote, "You are not funny," which means they didn't like that joke.
Right.
Which means to be to believe that I might be funny. So what I do is I use humor in my shorts. Depending on content, that may or may not work. Joe's content's a little more serious. So
my shit can sit. I don't, like with just with the shorts, the videos, if I get a 1,000 or less than 1,000 in the first hour, I'm disappointed. And that's shameful to say that shit. But
you're dealing on a different level of YouTube than I am.
But the shorts can sit. They'll still do a couple thousand or something really quick, but they can sit for fucking 15, 20, 30 days and then just rock it. I don't understand it, man. Within 2 and 3 days, they be up hundreds
what's
of
happening
thousands.
now is if somebody's found it and they put it on a different platform like Facebook or Twitter or something, and all of a sudden it blows up. I've had a couple of them get 1 million that way.
And this is what happened to me. I made a short called Maui Blue that was based around the Maui fires and everything, but it happened like a day or 2 before like that whole thing blew up. And so I ended up getting almost 200,000 views out of it just because it was named Maui Blue.
It was timely, right on for that.
Wow. 3 or 4, like a week, and didn't do anything. It had like 25 views.
Right.
And then, because there's a news story on mainstream news about Maui.
And somebody typed it in and they got your shit.
I landed
on one of my channels. If a video gets less than 100,000 views, I wonder about it.
Yeah, now that's pretty good, right? I don't know. Shit, I'm still happy if my shit get 20,000 views.
Dude, if I got 20,000 views, I'd lick my old dick. Shut up.
Right.
That's not a respectable statement.
And then I got some channels that don't get 10 views.
Right. How many channels you got? You sound like you got a lot.
Well,
Don't
you
ask.
see, I learned a long time ago, you can't do everything on one channel because it's just too varied. Because if you don't, like if you do a Bigfoot channel, but you throw a bunch of comic books and a bunch of race car stuff and a bunch of wrestling stuff and all this stuff,
yeah,
it don't do as good. So
it's logical. I got a cop watch channel, and I can't put my homeless or my protests. They're not interested in that. I understand.
Yeah, you know. So what I did, I broke up my interest. I got a channel for my movies, my horror movie stuff I love. I got a channel for wrestling and stuff. I love wrestling I love, and then I got my main interest, which is basically cryptozoology and parapsychology and paranormal investigations. I've got 3 channels dedicated to that.
Jeez, bro, how do you find time?
Deal with different stuff.
How do you find time, man? I spend 8 hours a day just.
I'm old and I'm disabled and I have no fucking life.
All right, that'll do it.
That'll do it.
I have nothing but time to create stuff. So. And go on investigations and do real stuff, So I've always got something scheduled or something going on.
Hey,
that's pretty cool.
Background because I can do cool things like that.
Hell, I live less than 100 yards from what used to be an old Indian burial ground, and they've got bulldozers in there and they're scraping it up and they're cleaning it out. They took all the bodies out back in the 30s.
Wow.
This land now that they sold off and they're renovating it. And ever since they started scraping it with bulldozers, man, I've had so much crazy shit going on around here. It's pathetic. I even seen some birds, man. I saw some birds, dude. I saw a bird with an 18-foot wingspan, giant black thing floating around.
I was going to ask you. You said
I got it on video a couple of times.
I'm gonna push you. You be nice, because I will make you show that video. I was going to ask you, you believe in that?
That's on my Round the House video channel that I just
Sasquatch, could you pull that out? Can you direct Sasquatch to
well,
that
like I said, it's just a giant bird, man. It ain't nothing great. I ain't talking about like it's a goddamn pterodactyl or something yet.
Maybe you didn't hear me.
It's a questionable situation.
How many feet did you say that wingspan was?
That wingspan, I saw one of these birds has an 18-foot wingspan, but there was a whole. There's a lot of them.
What kind of bird was it?
I have no freaking idea, and I know a little bit about
birds you know of. They got 18-foot wingspans.
Well, I've seen some pretty big vultures and some pretty big hawks, and
18 feet.
I'm thinking that there may even be a lost condor around here somewhere. They got somebody float out here from California in a storm.
18 feet sounds rare. I would like to see that. And listen, I'm not doubting that they're out there. When I was a kid, I was hunting in the woods. I got separated from my old man, and something was in the trees and it jumped from the branches. I mean, I thought it weighed hundreds of pounds like a gorilla. Big branches started falling. I had 2 guns. I had my shotgun and a gun in a shoulder holster. I ran up out of the forest. I saw maybe 3/4 of a wing, and that was about 14 feet. I didn't even see the whole wing. And then later, I heard about the Thunderbird, and it was in southern Illinois, exactly where I had been hunting at. So I'm interested in seeing your bird, man. Sasquatch is waiting for you to direct him so you can pull it up.
I'm looking. I'm over here. I saw the video a while ago when I was looking for the one with the eyes that I wanted to show you.
Bro, you can't make these claims and not fucking show.
Joe, well, you're like the Black Lockbeard, ain't you?
I'm Blackbeard.
Black Lockbeard.
Oh, fuck it.
Never mind, it's an inside joke. He's another guy that's really critical and always wants to see the evidence.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man. And I don't, I do that because I don't even expect to see the evidence. I do that to push the guy and learn more about him.
I don't blame you, man. I'm very critical, and like I say, I'm the first one to say it's a big bird. It ain't no pterodactyl.
Yeah. But
I'm still gonna put Thunderbird on the title for 1,000 views if I Because I'm a fucking YouTuber too. I'm a YouTuber too. Look, I busted him, man. I know he loves so hard he's blowing snot out his face over there. That's what I'm good for. That's why people love to have me on, because I got Tourette's. I got real bad Tourette's, so you never know what the fuck's gonna come out my mouth. Look, I make Barbie crack up too, boy. She's gonna blow snot out her nose in a minute.
All right, I'm
the only one guy that says turn the fucking camera off so nobody can see how
yeah, I'm keep my camera off, right?
Oh, bro. Hold on, you just hurt me. You gave me a goddamn pulled muscle in my side saying that shit. That was fucking.
Well, Happy New Year!
I don't give a fuck if it was a turkey. I'm not crazy. I'm on YouTube. That motherfucker's gonna be a Thunderbird.
Shit, I bet the goddamn ratings just went up.
Oh, yeah. That's the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Let's see, pull up the worst fucking video I got of them damn birds too.
Well, he gave you every
Man, what the fuck?
opportunity.
That's huge, dude.
Yeah, that was not horrible, man. Shit.
I've seen.
Yeah, that's a conventional bird, though. I wouldn't say that's a Thunderbird.
I didn't say it wasn't. I didn't say that's a big.
I'm not saying you said. I'm just
calm down, bro. We all friends. He's just
right.
Conversation. We're not ain't nobody.
That's a big bird. And it's interesting as fuck, though. It ain't.
Yeah, but you should see that. You should see the
let me
video
zoom
where
in and
I
see if
caught
I
the
can
whole
see if
flock
it's a
of them
bird
together.
of prey or
And there's some
something.
shorts where I got really close in on one of them. But that one. That's a monster, man.
Yeah, I'm zoomed in now.
And then I noticed we used to have like 10 or 11 cats that hung out in the
Man, look at that bitch.
always hanging around, and the cats are disappearing, man.
This is in South Carolina. Where'd you say you were?
I'm between Greenville and Anderson. Right
Is
in the
that
middle.
in South Carolina?
Upstate near the mountains.
Hey,
I can go up the street from my house about 100 yards from my house. I can stand on a hill and I can see the tips of the mountains.
Back when I was
Like about 45 minutes from here.
hold on. Back when I was a troll.
Were you, Barbie? You in South Carolina too?
I live in Asheville.
A second. Hold on.
Asheville. I used to go up there for the damn
I'm not listening to you, bro.
Yeah.
I used to work for the National Wrestling Alliance, and we did shows up in Asheville. And I used to sell pictures and posters at wrestling. I'd be the little fat guy sitting out front.
At the Army Reserve?
Well, mostly at the Civic Center, by that little weird ball. But I have been to I think
they put them on there
National
too.
Guard Armory and a couple of high schools up there too for shows, and they were
Irwin for sure.
I actually had a girlfriend lived up there.
That's right.
Named Rhonda.
Rhonda.
Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda.
Help me, Rhonda.
I used to make her crazy with that song, boy. She got off this stuff at me. She broke up with me because of that damn song.
Shit, keep telling yourself that.
Well, I drove her crazy with that shit, I guess. Good song.
Oh my God, son.
That was it. That song.
Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, you savage, dude.
Hey, let's check out some of dude's shorts, man.
Oh, dude.
I like that shit now, man. I want to see some of his shorts.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Hopefully there'll be cryptozoology shit. I'm really interested in that shit. And
Some
I
of them
believe
are,
that
well, not all of them.
I would believe that Bigfoot would be one of the different line of human. I wouldn't never consider he was just a regular animal like a gorilla, because I assume he'd be discovered or we'd understand and figure him out. I think it had to be somebody with a bigger brain in order to survive this fucking long. I think it's just a different humanoid.
Hold on.
That's what I've always thought too. I've always been in the camp of flesh and blood creature. I've never went with the woo. You know, I never believed that Bigfoot farted orbs or teleported or had telepathy and could speak with you until I met a couple of people like Long Island Bigfoot Mike and a few other people who said this stuff. And then I saw some stuff on Fade to Black recently, and I may be coming to a different line of thinking.
Are these shorts or vids?
I want you to see something. This man has a playlist with 2,048 videos.
Oh, these are playlists.
Yeah, you shouldn't even be on that one. That was just
Well, I'm about to say, we'll never
most of the
find
videos
anything.
on there. I hadn't put nothing on that playlist in a year, I bet you.
Okay, but Dan, listen, do you know how much time it takes to watch enough videos to fill up one playlist with 2,000 fucking videos?
No, I did. No.
It takes a little while. It takes some fucking time.
Yeah.
That's all I have, dude.
Just to go.
I keep telling y'all, I got plenty of
Time
I need to find somebody
side. Yes, it is. Time is on my side. Yeah, there he goes again.
Where is that? Where is that from? A movie?
That wrong. That's time.
Oh, it was a fuck. It was a.
What about that serial killer that could change bodies and shit?
Yeah, with Denzel. That's what it was.
Denzel Washington,
Yeah.
That was a damn
I
fine.
can't remember the name of that. That's a great movie.
This cool dog.
Well, just hit cryptozoology, anything, man. A Thunderbird. Let's see what we got. Because I just wanted that. You know, that video, it was pretty good. That bird flying, that was massive.
Homies has come on, function properly. What do we got here?
We got a windowsill. It looks like.
It's bad when you don't even remember.
Tree line.
Oh, that was when I was trying these crappy night vision things somebody sent me or something.
Okay.
Yeah, that didn't work out real well.
Yeah, it could be two horses fucking right there. We wouldn't be able to see them.
But it might be the audio is what you want to hear more than the video.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be an asshole, but when it comes to audio on YouTube, I'm not playing that game.
No, you can. It'll just be like.
I wonder what that sound like. Two horses fucking. What's that sound like?
Yeah, it won't be nothing to get you in trouble, right?
We have had 10 people in here for the past 15 minutes who have been fairly solid in here, 11, 9, 11, you know.
Yeah.
If you turn that on and it's some kind of screaming and annoying sound, they'll be gone so fast it'll make you
that's what you were thinking. I thought you were thinking they go Fauci you or something.
No. I was more interested in hold on.
Like that? No.
Yeah, stop it.
We lost 3.
And that's all it took was your I've been drinking a little bit and I do apologize. Two horses, Veterans Affairs, you have some explaining to do. Oh, these are the sounds ones. Yeah. I've sharpened a knife before.
Right.
What is that?
Well, I wish I knew. I put Bigfoot on the title, but I don't really know what makes it.
You stupid, Joe.
It scared the hell out of me.
Hilarious shit I've ever heard in my fucking life, dude. That makes me stupid. I'm so proud of you right now.
Hey, wait a minute. I might put Bigfoot on the title or whatever, but if you read most of the description that says I really don't know what the hell made this sound, if you can't help me out, let me know in the comments. You know.
All right.
Oh wow, dude. All right, hold on. hold on. I have a request. Dear God, tell me you have one friend in the world.
Who?
No, fuck. I'm asking him. Dan. No, fuck.
No, Dan.
Yeah. Tell me one person on earth that is willing to dress up in a monkey costume for you.
Fuck no. I got friends, but they're not stupid. You got to remember, dude. I live in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Everybody here takes guns.
Yeah.
And they're real jumpy. Big hairy ass in a suit. If the real Bigfoot shows up, if that's why you don't want nobody to see him in South Carolina, because if he shows up right here, somebody gonna smoke that ass.
Yeah, they are. That's fact, bro.
That ain't no shit. That's why Bigfoot's so elusive. Motherfuckers right here shoot a possum. Imagine what they're gonna do about a Bigfoot.
Let me tell you how it works in Georgia, because down south, like the Wild West, bullets hit your entire chest. Some struggle to digest, but I seem to trouble trying to buy a vest.
What?
To be clear.
We shoot first, ask questions later.
That is an inappropriate use of firearms.
The only question I got is when the guy dresses up in the monkey suit and somebody shoots him 8 times, is the cops gonna press charges?
It's certainly going to push for your ID. I can
Somebody-
guarantee that part.
I bought a gorilla suit one time. My dad stole it and gave it away.
Damn.
I brought it home, set it on the table, and went and took a piss, came back, and it was gone, and so was my pops.
Oh, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. I think I'd fight my dad.
Wait, was he trying to pop it off, or was he going to use it for fun? Because if he took it and put it to good use, then I'm with your old man. If he popped it off for some fucking alcohol in a pack of squares, then he sucks. If that motherfucker hopped on a train as a monkey, I'm all in. Yes.
I never saw him. I came home, dropped it off on the table, went and took a piss, came back out, and my suit was gone. And I went and knocked on the door. I woke up, and she was like, "Oh no, your dad left. He said you did something really, really, really stupid, and he just left. I don't know where he went." And I was like, I was like, I had a gorilla suit over here that I bought at a pawn shop. And she was like, "Oh, well, yeah, no, he's probably out getting rid of that."
Damn, just gonna get rid of it. I wish he'd have put it on. Fucking had a story.
Sure as shit, I would come to physical fucking blows with my dad.
Not with my damn mama, you wouldn't.
I would.
Shoot you right in your fucking kneecap. And don't
I'd be like, Mama, I wish you would.
You would.
She
She certainly fucking would. She would shoot you in the
And
kneecap.
she would. My mama probably
No,
would
honey.
still.
Don't misunderstand. She would shoot you in your kneecap and then sit down and explain to you where you went wrong. In a very nice.
All right, guys, don't get any sleep. Y'all putting a bell on yourself.
I appreciate
My
you.
dad steals it.
Love, don't let the man
Later.
get you down.
Later, pal.
Yes, sir. Oh,
Yeah, my mama just hit you in the head with a damn frying pan or some shit.
Oh, hell, frying pans was just a daily fucking event. We're talking about somebody becoming slightly violent.
My grandma was worse, boy. She whipped that ass for you. I remember once when look at here. I remember once when I was like 13 years old or something. My grandma had made some nasty ass green, slimy turnip green shit. And she put that shit on my plate and put that shit in front of me. And I looked at it. I said, "Oh God." And she said, "You need to eat that. They starving kids down there in Africa would love to have that." I said, "Won't you send them this shit?" Then that motherfucker hit me with a frying pan, knocked me out the chair.
Damn right, son.
Bang.
My grandmother was born a Fowler. And I don't know if anybody out there has ever met a Fowler before, but there is something of a legend, at least in my family. I'm not a Fowler.
No, but they are legendary.
About how contrary these people are. They simply will not go with the flow of the rest of the people around them unless they are.
No, they do not.
And so there's this sort of anyway, let me skip to the chase. My grandmother was 4'3". She carried a 3.5 foot long spoon that was the size of like Gandalf's fucking walking stick, right? Anytime you stepped out of line, even a slight bit, your ass would catch a straight up lightsaber slash across the back of the head with that spoon. She was better than Yoda with that little fucking stick.
Yeah.
Be glad it was a spoon and not a fucking frying pan.
Mom, I have experienced the frying pan.
Cast iron skillet, don't play.
Oh, I got a better one. I had an aunt named Maud, and she had a bad leg. And Aunt Maud walked with a cane. And if you made Aunt Maud mad, Aunt Maud would beat this shit out of you with that hard ass cane.
I want to tell you a private story, but to do it, I have to get off YouTube.
Good God, Gertie.
Listen, everybody in chat, a Veterans Affairs, Claiborne, anybody wants to pop up, even Derpy Duper. By the way, Derpy Duper is pretty good. I'm sorry, I forgot to do this earlier. I have to do this now. Ladies and gentlemen, our participation trophy tonight was from PDF. Poor Dirt Farmer is our participation trophy winner of the night. Congratulations. I have absolutely no doubt that that will get clipped. You got a
I saw that movie too, and it didn't work out real well.
Right. So all right. So Dan, since you are my guest and I am your host.
I'm a guest? Wow.
At this moment, tell everybody what you do.
What?
I said, tell everybody what you do. Drop at least one of your fucking channels. And
Join me on the Daily Dan blog to see me make a fool of myself looking for Bigfoot in South Carolina.
Mag motherfucking-nificent. I love it. Barbie.
Oh, you know me. I'm just going to keep on stalking him like I always do.
I wish you were stalking me.
Yeah, you think so, don't you? All right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I have become slightly inebriated and quite horny. So I'm going to go backstage. I'm going to tell this story. I might throw on a movie or two. I don't know what's going to happen. Feel free to join me if you wish. If it's entertaining enough, I'll stick around. But otherwise, I'm probably going to spend some time in my hot tub with my wife. So I love each and every one of you like a brother and a sister. But I'm going to be honest. If you give me any trouble tonight, I'll run every goddamn one of y'all off this mountain.
3, 2, 1.
If you're looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror.
The communists declared that the real differences among our people constituted the weakest and most vulnerable point in our social fabric.
It's MAGA country.
This is no hoax, ladies and gentlemen. I urge you to run for your lives while you can. We're not making this up just so we can take over the world.
The old dinosaur media isn't dying, it's dead. We are the new media. This is our world now. Lay down and die.
Peace was never an option. So if we don't step up and win this culture war, then who the fuck will?
Let's wake the fuck up!
We're gonna get naked.
No! I'm locked in here with you.
That's it! You're locked in here with me!
It's what you've been waiting for. Be the one we need.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Let me show you.
Global industrial complex.
Yep.
Uniparty.
Do I really look like a guy with a plan?
The point is to destroy Western civilization from within using Maoist technique. So therefore you have to vote for me.
I don't know. This is probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Woke is Marxism, evolved to attack the West.
Stop giving up.
It's only just begun! Now!
Do it! Yes, you can! I'm gonna do what's called a pro gamer move. Just do it!
Are people bitching about that?
Some people.
Of course they are. Oh, fucking A. All right, got it. Yeah, too fucking bad.
All right.
Yeah.
Far left conspiracies, to be honest with you.
Ain't no single entity going to swoop in and save the day. You are going to be continuously let down if you place all of your hope into one individual. Instead, look inside and look around. We're doing this together.
We all are fighting for the same thing, and we all see the same problem, and it's this...
It's time to stop being an NPC, get off your ass, and join the meme war.
Shame! Shame!
No, I don't like you.
Shame!
If we were in the wild, I would attack you.
I'm sick of it, man. I'm fucking sick of it. I will not do it again.
Thank you. I wonder how many people feel exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Be the beating drum at the head of the growing creative cavalry charge. Be vocal and profound in your passion for projects you enjoy.
No more excuses.
I've seen it. I can't even compute all of it. It's so fantastical. You've not seen nothing. You ain't heard nothing. You ain't smelled nothing like this. I don't have words to tell you.
A new world order.
We are in the beginning of a mass extinction.
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
Hey, wait a minute. Now keep in mind, Operation Human Shield will suffer heavy loss.
About it. You control population, you destroy the family, and then you you sow division. I mean, this is...
You don't need a destination when you're running on an omnidirectional treadmill.
We don't have enough time. There's too much CO2.
Are we ready for a new world order?
You'll never defeat the human spirit. You'll never defeat God. You'll never win.
Pray that he is watching.
Against all the evil that hell can conjure, all the wickedness that mankind can produce, we will send unto them only you.
That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
Well, I figure if you're still here watching this, all 7 of you, you are the resistance. You are where we win the culture war. You are the ones that matter. Because here's the thing. If your interest doesn't drive the way you spend your money, we have nothing that we can actually control. Y'all have a lovely evening.